And I suppose that she knows that I'm almost famous. Neck bang bang, and we dang. Mount Everest. And I suppose that she knows that I'm almost famous. Neck bang bang, and we dangerous remaining. Time steady changing. I don't know these niggas, and I don't wanna know them. This girl just want that big moment, so she can blow it. That's bogus, but I don't tell her what's what. Don't wanna be stuck, cause she's so starstruck. Wanna be around us, but I just rather play the field, rather keep it real, rather take you out, rather tell you how I feel, and show you that this game is for real. Cause I know that you're in love, you're looking for a star. Walked all this way to find a man with a car, hanging at the bar, champagne, caviar. No, you never seen a nigga like this, like this. You never seen a nigga like this, like this. Girl, you never seen a nigga like this, like this. You never seen a nigga like this, like this. Girl, you never seen a nigga like this. So quit it, you spend seconds, hours, minutes working on your fitness for a nigga to witness. Go quit it, I ain't tripping. You ain't the baddest bitch I'll ever meet. Homie said he already be in the backseat of a Honda Jeep. So the Lord shit you can really keep him so cold on him, so cold on him. Few homies in the feds, cause bitch niggas done told on him. Seen them boys in the streets and did a lot more than just stole on them. Niggas know the pan when they feel the heat of that stove on them. Send the hell the Lord don't want them. Funny girls in church Sunday morning, Saturday was out hoeing. Show me a worthy opponent, show me a match. No nigga, I face mine. Now my mind, no hang time. That's MJ on the baseline. Yeah, I know that you're in love, you're looking for a star. Walked all this way to find a man with a car, hanging at the bar, champagne, caviar. No, you never seen a nigga like this. Oh.
I'm talking about Sharpe going crazy. People going crazy in them motherfuckers. Run that shit back, man.
But it's nothing. Nothing. About a woman on the day. Man made the car. Man made the train to carry the heavy load. Man made the electrolyte to take us out of the dark. Man made the boat for the water, like the 7-no-meter. Man thinks about a little bit of baby girl and a baby boy. And man makes them happy because man makes them joy. But after man make everything we can, do you know that man makes money? To buy from other men. This is a man's world. But oh.
I'm talking about Sharpe going crazy. People going crazy in them motherfuckers. Run that shit back, man.
But it's nothing. Nothing. About a woman on the day. Man made the car. Man thinks about a little bit of baby girl, and I'm baby boy. And man makes them happy, because man makes them joy. But after man make everything we can, do you know that man makes money? To buy from other men. This is a man's world. But
greetings, Black family. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of the Front Line Blacc News. I'm your host, Shannon. I'm joined with our West Coast correspondent, Shabaka Sankori, Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced, of which I am the co-executive producer and co-host of. Lady K should be joining us here shortly. She lost her voice earlier, so she's going to have an issue talking, so she might not be joining us. But on tonight's episode, we'll be discussing several things. You've noticed we are no longer with the Arena Uncensored, so that is pretty much water under the bridge now. So we're back on our usual platform on StreamYard. So we kind of have to downgrade a little bit, but we're still going to continue to give you this news. So we have several things to discuss tonight. The first thing is, of course, them tangibles. We're going to continue to demand something tangible for our vote. So any politician that's seeking your vote, demand something tangible for your vote. So it's Tangibles 2024 now. Here we are. It's 2024. Happy New Year. And we're fast on them tangibles. So 2024 all the way up to 2100. Continue to demand something tangible for your vote. And then the next topic is the Democrats. Goddamn Democrats. They are so desperate, Black family. It's hilarious, actually. The DNC and Biden, y'all presidents, y'all voted for him, are desperately trying to get Black voters, and Black male voters in specific, to get back on that Democratic plantation.
Right.
So Biden, DNC, reaching out again to Black men. Again. Charlamagne, the God, otherwise known as Charlamagne the Coon, the thorn in the side of the Democrats. Now, if y'all recall, back in 2020, Charlamagne the Coon kept telling everybody, all black people, you need to vote for Biden. Biden is who we need to be supporting. So he put all this support behind Biden. And Ice Cube, when Ice Cube said, I'll meet with him, I'll meet with him, and I'll meet with Trump, the dump, as a human shit, and we want to make that perfectly clear.
Absolutely.
The dump said, I would meet with you. And Biden said he wouldn't meet with Ice Cube until after the selection. And then realized. So Charlamagne over there at the Breakfast Clubs, otherwise known as the Breakfast Club, got ghosted. And now he's got Biden's remorse. Now he has become, what we would say, a thorn in the Democrat side, like we've been over 5 years now. So now he's doing an about face, and he's telling Black people not to support Biden now. So we're going to be discussing that. And then we got nearly 300,000 illegal immigrants, otherwise known as migrants, to the U.S. last month.
300,000.
Nearly 300,000.
Wow, man.
Biden wants Texas to remove the barbed wire fence or a wire on the border. Then we got Harvard's president suddenly resigns. So this is that we had covered on a previous Frontline Black News that they were saying had made some anti-Semitic statements, and now she resigns. So good brother Professor Black Truth is gonna give us the rundown on that, and then Elijah McClain. God damn it, I knew I forgot something. So let me finish the title and I'll give y'all an update on what happened with Elijah McClain. So then we have, comedian Katt Williams exposes Holly-weird on the former Broncos wide receiver Shannon Sharpe's podcast this week. And if we have time, Unhoused Neighbor News and Unhoused Neighbor Sweeps.
Right.
So, before we get to the tangibles, let me give y'all an update on Elijah McClain. So, Elijah McClain, killer, one of his killers, several killers, but one of his killers, one of the officers involved in his murder, Rodema, got sentenced today.
Okay.
Or yesterday. I guess it would have been yesterday. Yeah, because yesterday was Friday. He got sentenced yesterday. They only gave this white supremacist, that's what he is. They only gave him 14 months in jail and 4 years probation. Now, this is the put Elijah McClain in the chokehold and walked away from the scene. And then the paramedics came, and instead of helping young Elijah, they shot him up with ketamine, and he ultimately died.
Wow. Yeah, that's bad.
He was one of two officers that was charged in his murder, and he was the only one that was convicted of anything. And they only gave him, again, a slap on the wrist, 14 months in jail, and 4 years probation.
That's bad. Yeah, that's bad. So once again, as we stated all along, man, for the last few years that we've been doing this at Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced and Frontline Black News, is that let's be real, this society has no regard for Black lives, and particularly Black males. And then what happening is they come up here, man, with all these divisionary tactics to get Black males to go in on each other, as opposed to focusing on, who the enemy is, which is the beast. You see what I mean? But however, this society has got it rigged up now, through that nonsense that comes up out of Hollywood, through this garbage that comes over social media from Silicon Game Valley. Oh, we are the same. We all been through so much, but however, though, if you all feel that way, then you would recognize that we built your country and go ahead and cut the damn check.
Right.
Period. You see? And then you got 300. Save livelihood still. Salute. Hey, how you be? How you be? Thank you for joining us. Okay. Also, too, but when we speak of such things, you guys are full of hatred, we're all the same, and the illusion of inclusion. Okay, so therefore, when we fall for this BS with this inclusionary stuff, the illusion gets proved to us more and more again. Okay, take over for a second, Brother Che, because I'm gonna go and try to change headsets right here.
Okay. All right, so yeah, this is the year. So we covered the Elijah McClain situation on a previous episode. But yeah, we told you we would give you an update on the sentencing, and that's the update on the sentencing. So I completely spaced it out to get on the description. Kind of been running around real crazy. That was a weak sentence. I know, David, that was a weak sentence. That weak sentence, that dirty cop guy for taking Elijah McClain's life is a spit in the face. I agree, David, wholeheartedly. You get no argument from me on that. Like, yeah, that was complete bullshit. And we were protesting. It took 5 years for that to even happen. Literally, it took almost 6 years for this bastard, any of them bastards, to get convicted, sentenced, anything. The two police Rodema and that other white supremacist. His name is. And then the damn two paramedics, Conley and the other one. Them was, yeah. I know it's bullshit, David. Okay, so getting to the topic at hand. This is the year and the decade of tangibles. So continue to man something tangible for your vote, Black family. We are not letting up. In fact, we are just beginning. We told y'all 4 years ago to man something tangible. Mugs laughed.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, welcome back, Shabaka.
Because this Bluetooth don't want to work, man, and I just threw it in the trash, man.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, and I just threw it in the trash. Okay. All right. So David and Thorn, that weak sentence sent that dirty cop for taking Elijah McClain's life is a spit in the face. Yes, it is. And this is not only a spit in the face, to his family, but it's a spit in the face into the total Black community worldwide. Yes, it is, because once again, they don't have no value, on our lives, you know what I'm saying? As long as we're going out here killing each other and then want to degrade each other, then we're okay. But then as soon as we talk about unity, for ourselves, throughout all of Pan-Africa, you get a bunch of obstacles. And then you get a lot of these neo-colonialists that tries to shatter the whole Pan-African movement, as you had pointed out there too, Brother Che, a while back. They want to...
Well, like I said, we've been the only ones that's been pushing that. So,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Started the fair.
Yeah, and then then you get these Nikki Haley's, man, and then you get these Donald Duck dumps. You see what I'm saying? And then you get these his sycophants, and and then you get these antis and what have you. It's just like they're just telling us. Yeah, telling us that we ain't nothing as a people. You know what I'm saying? And the sad part is then, you get these politicians like Warlock, man, and other brain dead so-and-so, man, Herschel Walker. I don't think color, we are the same. And then the police killed
your black ass.
Huh?
I said, color show enough, see your black ass. What up, Joe?
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah, big time. Big time. Okay, Joe Cool. Remember the old days when a white man could kill a black boy and do little or no time. Oh, wait. Yes, sir, Mr. Cool. You're absolutely correct on that. And then when you look at the case of George Skinny, if I'm saying his name right,
they executed that young man. He was only 14 years old.
Yes, and then to find out that he was falsely accused by Becky, you see what I'm saying? The same shit that you had with the Emmett Till case, and the state of Georgia ain't made no formal apology. What they tell us, oh, just get over it. Oh, we are the same. What about these other groups? But I find it very, very interesting is that these other groups have their self-determination, and nobody sits up there and goes against them for that. Nobody wants to go up there and say, hey, that they're wrong, but as soon as we go out here and go for our self-determination, oh, well, you guys are black racists. You know what I'm saying? There's no such thing as a black racist.
Right. We can't be racist by definition, because by definition, you have to have institutional power to enforce your prejudice.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? And that there's the institutional
control institutions in this country or in this world. We don't control the 9 areas of human activity, which are economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. We don't control none of that.
Yeah, and land. Yes, sir.
And health and nutrition. Until we control any of that, we cannot be racist by definition. No,
exactly.
Listen, I'm going by is Neely Fuller's definition. I'm not going by Webster's.
Exactly.
If you think that you are superior to another group or race, no. Racism is prejudice plus institutional power. And shout out to Dr. Francis Cress Welsing and Neely Fuller Jr. for pointing that out to us, because Neely Fuller Jr. said if you do not understand racism and white supremacy, what it is and how it works, everything else that you think that you understand will only confuse you in all 9 areas that I just named. So we can't be black racists. And we had an issue with another platform because they kept trying to say that there was black supremacy. There's no such thing as black supremacy. It does not exist. You can't have 2 supremacies occupying the same space. So, what did you say, Joe Cool? I know a lot of black people that think white people are beneath them and going to hell certainly sounds racist. Well, it's prejudice. It's prejudice at best. But even with that thought process, they can't tell them white people that they say are beneath them where they're going to live, where they're going to go to school, where their kids are going to go to school, where they're going to get a job. None of that stuff. They have no control over any of that. All they can do is call them a name. Calling somebody a name and controlling a person's livelihood are 2 different things.
Exactly. Exactly. They say, and then they don't never want us to talk about it. And then when we do mention up, then you go talk about these other groups that don't have nothing to do with us. You see what I'm saying? You know, you get a great big, do not apply on that.
If we charging them double for drugs, how is that racist?
Yeah, Joe Cool. Yeah, please define that. What do you mean we charge white people double for drugs? I don't understand that.
That's favoritism, but that's not the same thing as racism. Racism is a group sport. It's not an individual thing.
Right.
He's laughing. He's just making a joke. Okay, so thank you, Lady Che, for joining us. Greetings, Lady Che.
Greetings, Lady Che. Okay.
Sorry about that. I can't really cut off my voice. I'll be there in a few minutes. Okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Just, she's all right.
I'll be all right.
Okay.
Just give me a few minutes. Pick up my hair.
Okay.
Jesse, you want to drop the link? I'll be right there.
Okay, Lady Che, looking forward to having you, ma'am. Okay.
Yes. Twin.
No, Twin Pyramid. Yeah, I agree. Racism is systemic. Yeah, Twin Pyramid, you're right. It's because it's systemic, you know, in the educational system, in the political system, in the law enforcement system.
And all the areas are named.
Yeah. And in the economical system as well, too. Really in the economical system. You see what I mean?
Entertainment, labor, law, politics, sex, war, and religion. And some nutrition.
Yeah. You see, and as soon as we stand up as men to say something about it, then all of a sudden, you know, then they want to come bashing on the black male. You see what I mean? And that is what Hollywood is famous for. I mean, man, you know, look what they did to Jonathan Majors, man. Look what they're doing to Taraji P. Harrison. Say.
I'm kind of getting sidetracked. I was trying to get with the tangibles. Hold on, Joe. I'm going to drop the link for you.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, Brother Chad. I didn't mean to get sidetracked on the tangibles. Okay, but the tangibles is something that you can see, touch, and feel. 4 major tangibles is land, okay, risk management, okay, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Okay, and most definitely building up our own banking institution is because, as we had came across, Brother Che, the other night about how the Freedmen's Bank had got hijacked by the Federal Reserve. You see what I mean?
They stole all the money from the Freedmen's Bureau and used it to create the Federal Reserve.
Yes, sir. You see what I mean? But we're not supposed to say nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? I see somebody's trying to join us there.
Yeah, so salute.
Salute.
That's why shit's so blurry. Salute, gentlemen.
Right. How you be?
How you doing, Joe? You still in the Shy or are you still in Colorado?
Much better. I'm in Colorado now, man.
Okay. Yeah, I've been through Colorado, man. Yeah, you guys got more sunny days than California does. You know what I'm saying? But that temperature, woo wee, man. I spent a few of your winters there, man. 15 degrees below zero, and then when the sun does come out, the snow drift is piled up in the shadow. It's 64 degrees out in the sun. You go in the shadow, it's 28 degrees.
Yeah,
man.
you're right. And I'm out by New Mexico, so I'm out by the desert. Literally, the sand where I'm at is instead of dirt, it's sand, right? So you had the tumbleweeds and the goat heads, and it's really fucking inhospitable out here, bro.
Okay, now David M. Thornton states right here.
David, but I had to put fire up underneath her. She was on Jeff Fart's show, and they was talking about the case, and she accused me of being bitter and hateful because
for what?
Victim of racism, white supremacy, and police terrorism.
It's systemic. And one good thing, David M. Thornton states, one good thing about that case is Elijah McClain's mother did not forgive those cops and those paramedics who unjustly took her son's life, like other black people who are usually quick to forgive. Now, on that point right there, Mr. Thornton.
Money, though, don't forget, David, she did take that money, though. She took that $15 million.
Okay, yeah. Well, okay, that's for wrongful death. Still take the money and don't forgive them. Okay, just like with that cop who went there and murdered the other brother, Derek Chauvin. Okay, man, I see people. This is what's happening. We got so many of them, man. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to get on my notepad like Brother Che. You see, because we got so many of these damn cases where they fucking killing us. For recreation. It's a color. Now, keep in mind, Brother Che, when you and I met over there, Black Thoughts and Theory, when Alex Primo, who is no longer with us, may he rest in peace, he had stated that it is a culling. Now, this is going back to the time of Tamir Rice and the Mike Browns and what have you, right? Okay, so what's happening is, and then what's happening is you so well call it, Brother Che, these RWS. You see what I'm saying? They want us to sit up there.
They're race soldiers, not police. They're race soldiers.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? And then, as we have stated on so many other platforms that we have had conflicts with, and I still state the same thing. Okay, the slave patrollers evolved into the police department.
Of course.
Okay, the only duly elected law enforcement official would be the sheriff. The police are policy enforcers.
Mm-hmm.
See the difference?
Yeah.
They are policy.
The sheriff is appointed, but in LA, the sheriff is voted on.
Yes, sir. The sheriff is elected. Yes, sir. But there are a lot of jurisdictions on where the sheriff is appointed. Yes, Brother Che, that is correct.
I wasn't aware of that. I didn't know that motherfuckers can appoint sheriffs. I thought they were all elected.
Strong mayoral cities like Denver. Yep.
Yeah, and I believe in Alameda County as well too, where Panther Town is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I believe the board of supervisors just go ahead and appoint the sheriff. You see what I mean? But one thing I will say, a definite shout out to Ms. Katt Brooks. The excellent work that she has done over the years is where they had that police chief over in San Francisco. What was his name, man? Okay, the one man who was a police chief. Greg Sir. Greg
got killed.
Yeah, Greg Sir. Okay, well, they killed an unarmed brother over there. This is right after Mario Woods, and this is when your current vice president was the district attorney of San Francisco County. Okay, Greg Sir goes up there. No, Katt Brooks goes over there and says, "Check this out, people. You all need to fire this fool today, because if you do not fire him today, not only will I close the Bay Bridge, I will close the San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge and the San Francisco Oakland Bay Bridge. And guess what happens on that day, people? San Francisco starves."
Wait, so somebody threatened to shut down the bridge. Why? And who is he that he can talk about? He'll shut down the bridge. Who is this powerful fuck we're talking about?
Oh, well, that's Katt Brooks, sir. Okay, and when she was doing it was in protest to the police killings of
She was
black
gonna shut it
people.
down with the people. She was gonna have the people shut down the threats.
Exactly. Yes,
All
sir.
right, and she was doing it in protest to the unarmed guy. They killed.
Yes,
That was
sir.
pretty cool.
Yes,
That's
sir.
dope.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And,
on a bitch again recently behind the Hamas, the Palestinian Israeli shit.
Yeah.
Is that I call it the Middle East conflict? Okay, and I'm kind of like have to do more research on that. Is because
I was about to ask you where you cats come down on that at.
Yeah, it's because I've been kind of avoiding it, but we can talk about it. It's because
everybody want to know where we stand on it. We are neutral on the whole situation.
Exactly, because they've been doing this.
By both groups, Black Palestinians get treated horribly by the Palestinians. Black people in general in Israel get treated horribly. So
yes, and then it was even that old Netanyahu was what do they call that there? Exiting, the black Jews over there. He was kicking them out, of the country.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yes, sir.
Not the Ethiopian Jews.
Yes, it's because Ethiopia and the Gaza Strip or that part there, man, is right across the street from each other practically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then on top of it too, there's a lot of business and hatred going on from the Minnesota House of Representatives, Ilhan Omar.
I understand what Charlamagne, and I'm all for that. I want to talk about the black shit more. I got a couple things that sparked me when I was down there in chat. But in this particular thing, I'm curious. It looks like you're only looking at it as how does it affect us? How does it affect black people? Is there nothing else to be said about the atrocity, even without us having to do with anything with it? Take you, us, and black folks out of it. What do we think about it?
Oh, yes, sir. Okay.
You're a black person.
Yeah, I don't understand the people there.
Yeah, I'm talking at the same time. I didn't hear either one of them.
So we're a B1 platform. We're black first.
Right. So I understand.
First. So if black people suffering over there, that's our concern.
I got you. And I understand that. And we could talk about that too. I wanted to say that also I got room under the God thing, just being one of God's children. I hate to see anyone suffer. And there's a conversation over there as well. Mm-hmm. But we on the black thing, two things I wanted to talk about. You guys were correct. You guys were saying something like, you could talk about damn near any problem, any other fucking people. I could talk about breast cancer. I don't know, my trans issues, gay issues. I don't know, whatever the fuck it is, Chinese, whatever. You black motherfucker talk about your shit. You are labeled a racist through the gate. Absolutely. Why you so angry? Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Everybody else, they shout you down when you open your mouth as a black person.
Oh, yes, sir. Absolutely. It's kind of like you knock a dude down, then he goes to get himself up, man. And then you take out the billy club to knock him down again after you hit him with your fist and knock him down. Then after the billy club, then you take the pair of handcuffs and bash him upside his head again as he tries to stagger to get up. And then you come with that bullshit taser, just like that woman did down in the southern states, going to tase that brother who was handcuffed, who was not resisting arrest. Okay, so now, in this society's ethos, okay, which is the group psychology, if I got it right, and I really wish we had a couple of our PhDs who follow us to come on tonight, is that it's okay.
Because racism and white supremacy is a group sport. It is not individual.
You know what, Brother Che? It is a group sport because a lot of these cops are doing it just because they know that they can get away with it. But
what about black cops fucking us over?
Glad you brought it up. Yes, sir.
Said on America's Most Wanted, black police showing out for the white cop.
Police showing out for the white cop.
They trying to show they can be
yes.
better race soldiers than their white counterparts.
I think that points to there is no such thing as a real race. I could be wrong there. It's more of a indoctrination. It's a racist indoctrination. You tell motherfucker black people are less.
Right.
Any motherfucker can fall victim, including us, to that indoctrination, and we can start believing
yes, sir. Yeah, look what happened to our man there in Memphis.
Yeah.
Okay. Look what happened to what happened to Miss Tyree was his name?
Yeah, Tyree Nichols.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? To find out that these cops had conspired against him is because Mr. Nichols was seeing one of these police officers' ex-wife. So of course, so with that gang mentality that goes in, because they're nothing but a gang with badges, right? Okay, because like I said, the most notorious gang in Los Angeles is the LAPD. All right.
Gang period. It's the police.
I didn't know that came out. I remember when it happened, motherfuckers was like, yeah, he texting the bra right now. Here's video of him texting the bra, talking about, look what I did to your nigga. But I wasn't aware that it had ever been confirmed.
Yeah. Oh, yes, sir. And then keep in mind is that his homies, you know, who was part of that Scorpion division, like LA's Crash division that Bernard Park got rid of, called Community Resources Against Street Hoodlums. Yeah. Okay, so they had it in for the brother. So I could see it, that dude got wind of it, you know, sitting there getting drunk with his homies and they off hours. Yeah, man, you know, this dude up here screwing my old lady.
Talking shit on the phone boxing with me.
All that.
Wait till I catch his ass.
And here's what I say. Okay, there is nothing wrong with falling in love with a woman, and then keep in mind the power of the black woman when it comes on that is hypnotical. Okay, we understand it is volatile, it is potent. It is dangerous. This is why I love the black woman so much. Okay, but this is why you always ask, gentlemen, when you get involved with a sister, ma'am, are you recently divorced? Where's the kid's daddy at? Okay, is the daddy still alive? Okay, what's going on with you all? Okay, it's because you'll get a lot of women who go get with another cat just to piss this first cat off. Okay, because like Al Green said in 1973. Love and happiness, love will make you do wrong, make you do right. This is why it's called temporary insanity. Now here's the case for it on that, okay? The power of the black woman, because we are still on topic, because this is what we're talking about, our young man, Mr. Nichols, who was murdered in Memphis, okay? And beaten okay. All right, Los Angeles, California, 1970. Okay, there was a newscaster by the name of Stan Duke. Okay, I used to look at Stan Duke. He was the first black sportscaster in Los Angeles. Okay, what had happened was that there was a white dude who was a news announcer on the local radio station there, the soul station called KGFJ. He was a white guy by the name of Averill Berman. So what had happened is that Averill Berman was seeing Mr. Duke's black wife. Okay. So what happened was Mr. Duke comes in, okay, and keep in mind, anybody out there, feel free to correct me in the chat. I'm going from memory. Is that Averill Berman is there in a closet. And so Mr. Duke discovers him there and shoots him. And then Mr. states, you know, he did about 10 years in prison. He stated, you know, it took me 17 years to build up my career, and it took me 10 minutes to blow it.
It might be worse than that, man. I was reading a book, Divine Revelations of Hell, and it was a really good book. And in there it talked about how Jesus took this lady to hell, and she got to talk to some of the people there, and they all were like, Jesus help me, Jesus help me. And one of the guys was a preacher, and Jesus said, I can't help you now. I came to you 3 times and told you not to do it. And, you know, he shot the wife, the guy she was cheating with, and himself. And he ended up down there. And when he left, he was like, "Well, fuck you, Jesus, fuck you, then."
Right.
That dude doing that shit, old Duke might, for shooting motherfuckers, he might have a one-way ticket, man.
Yeah. So I don't know if Mr. Duke is still alive or not. And keep in mind, man, this was over 50 years ago, and he appeared to be in his 30s then. So if he is still with us,
if he
in his
is, he
80s.
probably close, right? Get close.
And keep in mind, and this is when I was like 11, 12 years old, you know what I'm saying? And I'll be 65, God willing, this year. So, MD20, what's up with you, MD20? Peace to the front line listening in as a nightcap. Right on, MD20.
MD20.
Yeah, okay. So therefore, man, is that what Mr. Duke said? Okay, so you have to be careful, gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? And then the cold part is if you come across a good woman and they are out there, don't fuck over. You know what I'm saying? Don't do it. Say if she's there taping your hands before you go into that fight called life, and then as you go through this thing called life and you go back to that corner, she's putting that end swell and that ice upside your dome and giving you the water and telling
back
you
out there, baby.
hit. Yeah, and telling him what he's getting hit with. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, and then so you don't mess over a good woman. You know what I'm saying? And what have you? You say. And then on top of it,
racism. That was the other one. Did we talk about that? No, I want to talk about that from the chat if I can.
Oh, yes, sir, most definitely.
You guys, we were talking about whether black people can be racist or not. I think that if you narrowly define what racism is, which, by the way, most people don't consider that racism. We have to consider what words mean and what words mean now. What is racism to most people? By that definition, I think black people can. If you narrow it down to you must have the power to control where a person lives, and that is the only definition of racism, now you have an argument.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now go ahead, Brother Che. I'm sorry.
Plus institutional power.
Is that anything like the institutional power I have in my neighborhood over white people? Would that be considered institutional? I determine where they sell their drugs, what basketball courts they play on. I run their lives there. Is that institutional power?
No.
Okay. No. And then keep in mind,
you don't control the media. You don't control the educational system. You don't control the banks. You don't control the religious institutions. You don't control the war.
But I do control a bunch of other things. I control the stores, at least in my neighborhood, where they shop at, who they talk to, what their reputation is, I whether their kids play on a basketball court or not. I control that.
Okay, Joe. So can you control if they get a loan or not for business?
Again, you're narrowing the definition. So the definition of racism, is it just being power or is it power over the loan shit got something to do with it? I control the loan because I'm the gang member. He's the drug user or dealer. I'm going to charge him higher. I control that loan.
Okay, now let me ask you a question on that one, if I may interject.
I'm not talking about for a drug deal. I'm talking about for a business loan.
Wait, what about the drug shit? In my neighborhood, it's mostly drug shit. Can I be a racist in my neighborhood?
Okay, because we don't control the drug trade, in the black community.
In my neighborhood, I control it.
Because the black drug dealer is going to another group of people to get the shit. You see what I'm saying?
All three of you cats are talking again.
I was saying you might control it in your neighborhood, but you don't control it in your city. You don't control it in your state, and you don't control it countrywide.
So is that the definition of racism? It only applies if you have control city, state, and countrywide. It does not apply on a smaller level. Again, that's a very small definition of racism.
No, because it's a global system. Don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. And then on top of it, but you got to see where you're getting it from. You see what I'm saying? You have to see where
the United States. It's worldwide.
Yeah, exactly. It's because, case in point, man, you know, like when you look out there in California and what have you, man, we don't control the production of that shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, then it gets imported, you know, from various other factions, you know, from what I read here on the news. But they put it off in the main the main place to put it is in the black community, because if you ever saw the movie The Godfather, okay, where Marlon Brando was sitting there with the rest of the, you know, the neighborhood bosses, and it says, well, Don Corleone, you know, he's got police and he's got the cops in his pocket and stuff like that, okay, and you know, and he must let us all drink from the well. So what did the other Godfather get up there and say, well, in my city we'll keep it, you know, with the colors. You see what I'm saying? We don't want it around schools and what have you that, but however, we'll keep it with the colors. And
because they're less than
okay, and the first one who they target for it, man, is the black female. Why? Because why do they target the black female with the drugs? Is because
I agree with all these things. In fact, I think all these things are obvious. I'm just talking about racism. What about the Africans over there in Africa, in different countries that don't like black folks? Over here, American blacks. Does that make them racist? What about the white people in Russia who don't like black people? They don't control our money or have any control over us, but they still don't like black people. Are they racist?
Yes, sir, they are. And then too, if I may say, and then I'm going to yield, Brother Che. See, what you're talking about over there in Africa, my good brother, is neo-colonialism. You had the colonialism, but you got the neo-colonialism, and this is why we appreciate the president of Niger of kicking out the French, because the French, the Belgians, the British, the Portuguese, see, these were some brutal bastards. You see what I'm saying? Very brutal. And then, of course, as we all know, when Her Majesty Queen Nzinga in the 1500s was told by the Portuguese, oh, well, you're now a colony of Portugal. And then Nzinga says, say, man, you care to repeat yourself? Okay, I'm just paraphrasing. And he did, and she says, hey, man, check this out. Okay, and for the rest of her life, for the next 50 years, she went to war with him, and she was vicious to him. You see what I'm saying? So that's, and we got to have this sense of.
I'm not sure what this stuff got to do with racism.
Yes, sir. No, that's my point, is because the Portuguese went to Mutamba with racism, and it's called modern day Angola. So they didn't look at, you know, the different nations that you had there within the nation, or what they called Angola, or any other nations, like when they had the Berlin Conference and the Europeans carved it up amongst themselves.
Where are we supposed to go? Where do we have dual citizenship? We don't have no dual citizenship in any independent African nations, because they're not independent.
Exactly, because a lot of them are neo-colonialists. You see what I'm saying? And
but I don't think that changes anything, because they're neo-colonialists. They believe that smoke. Black people over there in many of these countries think we're dogs, black Americans.
They call us Akatas.
Yes, Kafirs, and all of that nonsense.
No, sir. A Kafir is what is a nigga, is what they refer to in South Africa. Okay, see that? Yeah, that's what they call a nigga, and the term Kafir means nigga in Azania, and I'm not even calling it South Africa no more. I'm calling it Azania, is because our original producer of Shabbat.
We're saying the same thing. It's a slur for black motherfuckers. They call us Kafirs as well. But my point is, these are black people who look down on us. They don't have the power. They don't have the power to control where I live or these things. But I'd still say that motherfucker's racist. If the white motherfucker looks down on me, go ahead.
They don't have the power to be racist. That's what I'm saying. Like, the definition of racism is confusing because of what Webster says. And Dr. Francis Quest Welsing and other black scholars, master teachers.
I've read Dr. Francis Quest Welsing. Yes. Many years ago. I probably, I don't know. Yeah, I was big into all of that shit. I've even met a bunch of these fucks too.
Yeah, me
Uh,
too. I
yeah,
missed out on the opportunity of meeting her though.
yeah,
I still kind of regret that to this day. But yeah, so
And then of
that's
course
where the confusion
definitely check out Dr. Marimba's I Needs the Ma'afa.
Oh yeah,
can he pronounce that?
Okay.
Say it again.
No,
What?
it's Ma'afa. It's spelled Maafa. And what Dr. I Need defines it as is that it describes a disaster so bad that it is beyond description. And then not to mention the fact is that you got to look at the brutalization that they did to us on the plantation system here, which affect us for generations, the Willie Lynch doctrine. You see what I'm saying? So this is your systemic racism, and black people are in no position to enforce no systemic racism on any other group. If anything,
I would agree we can't enforce systemic racism, but there have always been two countries of historically before America would even come about who hated the motherfucker just because they was darker, whether they can control them or not, just because they're on the border and they live different. We hate them. I'm calling them niggas racist. They don't determine where they live at or nothing. I barely know them niggas, but I hate them. They thieves. They're racist.
Okay, and who are you in particular are you speaking of, sir?
Any fucking two races that existed next door to each other, and I'm sure it's going on today. I know over there in Finland or somewhere, they think every Scottish motherfucker is a dog beneath them. Somewhere over there, they hate every country around them and think they're all pieces of low-life pieces, worthless pieces of shit.
But you know who they hate the most when they get done with their hate? They hate the Africans that have immigrated there or are originally from there, because we are the all over the planet.
Yes. We are hated most. I would agree with that shit. They had a saying that anyone who came to America and it was racist as fuck over here, they treated everybody shitty. But they knew even the fucking the PFP, the prisoners, enslaved prisoners knew that we will not be at the bottom of the rung. That's reserved for black people, man. Even the prisoners of war were treated better than black people over here. It's crazy.
Okay, now, sir, to emphasize more so on your point, just like what the heavyweight champion had said before he regained the title in 1974, okay, and they go to approach him, and I don't have to say his name. He was in Zaire.
I even know.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about.
I know what you're about to say too. Go ahead.
No. We are not brothers. Brothers don't go out there and take brothers and hang them up there on the trees and cut their private parts off. You know, brothers don't go out there and violate and rape the women and what have you. So there ain't no such thing as a black racist. Now, let's look at the Haitian Revolution. You see what I'm saying? Of 1804. They didn't sing Kumbaya. They didn't sing, I got a dream. No, they wouldn't put that fucking work in is what they did. Okay, the revolutionary agenda, the RVA. What is in Africa is prejudice in Africa from one black country to country. It is racism because they were colonized under the system of white supremacy when it came from the African to the board. Now, that is a very, very excellent point that you have right there, Brother Che. Okay. All righty.
So, voice, so this is Lady Che.
Right. So it's prejudice from other black countries toward us. Okay, now, Lady Che, this is what, I'm enlightened to the brother. You got to understand is that, see, this shit took like about at least, in my opinion, and my educated guess, it took it at least 50 years to implement this bullshit. Okay, it's because this is what.
Hold on, Sebastian. Yeah. John Wayne said it was an ideology. So on a previous platform, we got into it about differences in ideology.
Okay.
See, it's the biggest religion that is not a religion.
What's the biggest religion?
Racist white supremacy.
I dig it. Same way the government is a religious rights. Yes, and here's the shit: they will gaslight you and say it doesn't exist.
Right? See, that's just it, though. You see,
That's why they
yes, sir.
They want
So they pissing on your head and telling you it's not
It's
raining.
raining. Why are you complaining? Everybody gets a little rain from
It's
time
raining
to time.
on us, and they're pissing on us, and they're shitting on us, and they're telling us to snow.
Exactly.
And see, they try to go out of their way to stomp out platforms like us because we're getting our real truth out to our people. The masses of our people are still asleep. But the ones of us that's woken up all over the nation, we have collaborated, and we are now the new black media.
Listen. Here's my fear, and y'all talk me out of it. You cats are smart, and you got really good energy. Talk me out of this. I think it was a mistake for white people to say, black people should be separate. They're less, and treat them a different way. I think that was a big mistake. I think it was wrong under God. And I get fearful when I see us as a knee-jerk reaction to get out of it is envy or repeat the oppressor's behavior. Well, we're going to form an all-black so-and-so and do the exact same thing that y'all did to us. Envy not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. I get scared when I just see fucking BET saying, they don't say this, but
we ain't on that in over 20 years.
Yeah, man. BET, we lost that 20 years ago, my brother.
Yeah, I remember they told it to Viacom, blah, blah, blah. But you do understand my point. Whenever black motherfuckers or anybody, I use this across the board, if you imitate the oppressor's behavior, red flags go off for me. It didn't work for them. I don't think it was smart for them. And if we're doing the same shit, probably not wise for us.
The same shit, Joe Cool. We are actually bringing actual true justice to the system. The system has to be replaced with a system of justice.
I'm agreeing with you, brother.
Which nobody is about their skin. And
right.
And the sense of
all right.
Help get it in a constructive manner.
All right. So you guys, if a bunch of white people wanted to help y'all accomplish this goal, you wouldn't be against that, would you?
Okay. No.
I think the sister say, hell yeah, we'll be against that.
And then I don't know when we were free in any of the countries we were together before slavery, weren't we? Okay. All right. So Lady Che has a point on that. But the thing is, though, if they're gonna come up there and quote unquote want to help us or what have you, okay, look, it has to be known you ain't running shit. You see, in other words, hey, if we got this
shit over here, we're gonna continue talking our Black First agenda to whoever wants to tune in.
Yeah,
and that's just what it's gonna see. Because
I hope it doesn't appear I'm trying to talk you out of that shit. We need more of that shit. Listen, I'm going to have my own agenda when I go place to place. If I think you're experts in the thing, I'm going to tease your brain a little bit and see, what you guys come down on. Because I assume this is your expertise. So, I'm not, listen, I could do I am called the biggest racist, blah, blah, blah. Fucking ain't nobody called more of a racist than me. And it's because I speak on black shit all the fucking time.
Exactly.
All of us on here get called racist just about daily.
Right. Yeah.
We embrace it because we already know that shit is not what it is under this current system.
Right. And one thing that I would not tolerate, and Brother Che would tell you, and Lady Che would tell you, because I'm going through a bunch of shit about this, okay? But ain't no white motherfucker ever gonna come up there and tell me nothing about the history of my people.
Yeah, that shit kills me too.
Because I don't give a fuck about your Irish. I don't give a fuck about your Germans. I don't give a fuck about your French. I don't give a fuck about your damn Portuguese. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the difference. Just because of your skin color, that being lighter, you were able to just merge into the environment. All those indentured servants and the white people that had it really bad, when they came down to it and they freed the slaves, those people became part of white society, right? They were no longer part of the shitty motherfuckers like us. All of them are able to, at some point, disappear right into that society, bro.
Yes, sir. That part. Down. And also, too, sir, like they say, okay, well, you know, what about the indentured service? Okay, talking about the Irish.
Foundational Black Americans, descendants of American chattel slavery. Go ahead, Lady Cherry. You got something to say. Go ahead.
Okay, she says, I'm a separatist from my personal experience only. Okay, is what Lady Cherry.
I don't want to type. I don't want to type. I don't want, okay. Let me just say something real quick. Just because, like what he just said about being light, it's a misnomer. Some of us came out light and ambiguous looking. You know what I mean? So it looks like we could go from one ethnicity to another. And in reality, and we would be getting the privileges of the whiteness. In my personal 43 years of experience, I have fair skin and with ambiguous features, right?
No passes.
Okay, I don't get any fucking passes as form of whiteness. I don't get any privileges. I didn't have no schooling. I have no I barely got out. Everything is a fucking no. And the negatives is how they usually treat what they would consider. I don't know, you brought in ambiguous terms like
mulatto.
Yeah, no, but they would treat just because I'm fair. So we call it like a milky mulatto, right? I'm way darker than my mother. I get way darker than my brother. My mother, but not my brother, right? But because it doesn't matter, it just was like a major conflict recently somewhere because of colorism. I have ambiguous looks, so it looked like I could fit in any ethnicity, but it's not true. When any other ethnicity looks at me, like for example, Hispanics, Latinos, the first thing that comes out their mouth is I'm a mayate. Okay, white people don't even look at me. They look down at me. I pass. Right? They don't even look at me. They don't speak to me, and when they do, they talk at me, or they treat me like I'm ignorant, or like I don't know nothing. When I go to jail, I'm manhandled every motherfucking time since I was like 7. 7, they came to my house and manhandled me and told my father to beat me with a rubber hose, so I didn't leave marks. I went in the system. I'm a product of the system, right? So I didn't get all the privilege of being white, like all the little white girls that went in the system. They went in one home and got adopted. I went in 200.
If anybody thinks that just because you're light skinned, you get treated like white folk, that's crazy.
It's a misnomer. So they treat me badly. My own people, some of my people see me, right? They'll see me and they'll see the black first. I don't know, right? I don't know, right? But I know, I'll say I'm Black, Indian, and French. Because if you ask me, that's the answer. If you don't ask me and you assume, then you're assuming that I'm Hispanic. And I'm not. Nowhere near, right? They'll say I'm Indian, right? Like Native Indian. For some reason, no. My mother is European. My mother's French, okay? And my father is Black. So it's just basic. You know what I'm saying? However, I didn't know until I was much older.
Are white people genetically different than black people?
Yes.
When it comes to like
what?
When it comes to the systems,
a whole lot of ways,
areas, right? I'm like considered how they mark us disfranchised, underprivileged. I'm one of those people you got to give stuff to. We can't take care of ourselves. Pick yourself up, type shit.
You understand that I'm 57 years as a light-skinned male. You're preaching to the choir, right? Know all these things, right?
But we'll get into it.
I'm older than you.
And look how light I am. I'm lighter than you are. You're telling me things I already know. I've been in the ghetto all of my life. I know all these things. I just stopped selling drugs 5 years ago. I know all these things. I agree with you.
What I'm saying to you is that for people listening and watching, right? Because there's other people watching. Even with us, even with me running a Black First platform, right? And me being with my ideologies, right? I get told all the time that I can't say this or I can't do that, right? But I know who I am. I've been knowing since I was a little girl. You know what I mean? We shouldn't have to justify it, but if they make us do it every time somebody wants to know something, instead of it, they make you work harder, and then you feel like, hey man, I should have to justify it. I'm right here where I'm receiving the same fucking treatment.
Yeah, we ran everybody off.
Great. I've seen myself. I've seen it. You know what I mean?
I want to hear the DNA shit whenever you get an opportunity. Can my man tell me about the DNA?
No, they always do it when I talk. Bye. Don't matter. Every time
I'm glad you brought up the DNA. Now that there is your boy Henry Louis Gates, in my opinion, who's an avid ass scratching, chicken pecking Uncle Tom, who's going to sit up there, be a victim of police brutality, going into his own mansion. He goes to the then President Barack Obama and a cop. What does Obama say? Let's sit down and have a beer. Sit down and have a fucking beer.
We gotta get on the tangible.
Sit down and have, motherfucker, is you crazy? This man is up here entering his own house by any means necessary. That's his gate. If he wants to steal, if he wants to drive a car through the gate.
And they think that, I'm no longer a victim of racism and white supremacy.
You see, and now another thing about Henry Louis Gates, okay, because I got some of his material right here and it's real thick, and I'm going to have to read. Yeah, now he's going to sit up there and do these DNA samples, right? Okay, and I remember they were showing him on TV, right?
Yeah, and
then he says to this Samuel L. Jackson, he says, "Well, Mr. Jackson, your DNA came back. You're a descendant of the Mende." Okay, and you know about SynQ, right? And this is why I always get our boy Joe Gibson, brother Che, when we talk about why would the king sell his own son into slavery? And he always comes to me with some half-ass bullshit ass answer that he came up with. Okay, so therefore Samuel L. Jackson was a descendant of the Mende. Okay, so then. Dr. Gates does the sample on a light-skinned sister, and she came back Native American. And then he says to her, well, you don't have no African blood. Then he comes back to her and says, I made a mistake. Yes, you do. You see what I'm saying?
Of course you do.
And, so Gates.
Here before the transatlantic slave trade. But finish up, Shabaka, because we still got to get to the tangibles.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Okay, and so that's what I'm saying on that. You see what I mean? So what they did with this Willie Lynch doctrine, man, that old Willie Lynch said in 1720, if you implement this bullshit, you'll keep these niggas under control for the next 300 years. Now, I ask you, black man and woman, we're in the 21st century, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a real thorough job. Where did brother man go?
I'm right. I'm covered up by the picture. I'm still here.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm sorry, brother Che. Let's get on with the tangible.
Get into the tangible. So for the last 4 years straight, consistently, we've been pushing the tangibles 2020. So back in 2019, our good brother Tariq Nasheed came up with this hashtag tangibles 2020.
I've been watching him since you told me. I've been watching him. What is the other guy I love? The guy who had the battles on his channel. I'm surprised. Satnetta. I watch him. Yeah.
Okay,
I'm sorry. Oh man, that shit is so good, man. Dude turned me on, and Tariq too, the real smooth brother. Yeah.
You heard Jason Black yet? Or
who?
Yeah, the professor.
Just the professor?
Yeah,
Professor Black Truth.
Professor, yes. I don't know where from, but yeah.
Yeah, the professor's heavy.
All these names are mentioned, and that's the new Black media. We here at Front Line Campaign, Front Line Black News, even Black Experience Enhanced Revolutionary Agenda. We are signal boosters for the new Black media.
Yes.
Okay, exactly. New Black media.
Yes, sir, because it's up to us to take care of ourselves.
I dig it. Yeah.
So,
and then keep in mind.
Hold on, Shabaki. The New Black Media, Joku, it started about 15 years ago. And back then, everybody was on crystals and on metaphysical stuff. Like, there's a whole channel for that called Black Magic 363. But we've met several of them as well. But 15 years ago, that's what Muggs was on. And shout out to Tariq Nasheed because he came up with the Hidden Colors, and that revolutionized the whole mindset. Because they kept telling us we was crazy and we didn't know what we were talking about.
All right.
So now they see Fat Meat is definitely greasy. So
go ahead.
So I'm gonna read it. And also too, and if I may get this in here, yes, sir.
We already running behind schedule. I wasn't expecting this show to go this direction, but I'm gonna roll with it. So the 2020 presidential election. So now it's 2024. So the only thing that's changed, Black family, is we have changed the year. Everything else remains the same. So instead of 2020, it's 2024, and we pushing it all the way to 2100. So continue to demand something tangible. So the 2024, so I'm going to change 2020 to 2024. Everything else. The 2024 presidential elections are coming up. And foundational Black Americans meaning the people that built this country, the United States of America, the corporation, USA, we are going to demand, we're going to demand, obviously, we are going to reject the 50-year-old plus malign neglect. So Joe Cool, they got this thing called malign neglect, and it comes with the Monahan report. Are you familiar with the Monahan report?
I am not, no.
Okay, so it originated around the time of Nixon and Watergate.
Right, that's the early 1970s.
Yes. So in that report, it said to the Democrats, and the Republicans too, don't offer Black people anything tangible, pretty much, and lump them in the broad ambiguous terms. So I'm gonna read it out. Like, you're gonna get the definition. So the malign neglect policy that has been implemented by the political system. This malign neglect policy from the Monahan report mandates that Black Americans should be ignored and only mentioned in vague and non-specific terms, lumping foundational Black Americans into groups with minorities, immigrants, people of color, BIPOC, what other bullshit they got, etc., marginalized, downtrodden, all the little code of speech that these politricians use during their campaign slogans, etc., has only hindered the progress of Black Americans as a group while providing tangible benefits for other groups. So so-called people of color, minorities in the struggle, all that type of shit. The minority coalition, Black and brown, all that shit. That's what it's discussing. Lumping us into those groups, and it has only hindered the progress of Black Americans as a group while providing tangible benefits for other groups. In this election cycle, meaning the one that's coming up in November, since we're in 2024 now, Black Americans are going to insist that our needs are specifically met by the politicians who are seeking our vote. Foundational Black Americans want tangible benefits, specifically for us. We do not want secondary benefits that are provided for every group. So we don't want to hear, I'm going to do something for everybody. Yeah. Man, do nothing specifically for Black people. No, we don't want to hear that shit. Every group has not been systematically marginalized and disenfranchised in every area of society. That's foundational Black Americans. To be lumped in with groups who often assist in the exploitation and disenfranchisement of Black Americans.
Black people themselves, yeah.
So politicians must offer tangibles, specifically the foundation of Black Americans, or we simply will not vote for them.
I dig it.
Be sure to spread this message far and wide on social media using the hashtag tangibles2020.
Meaning, I dig it. I don't want to hear that. Yeah, man, we got something to take care of minorities. No, be more specific, motherfucker. Right. Don't lump us in with a fucking group. You know.
Shout out to the FBA Chicagoans. Y'all been holding them Democrats' feet to the fire. Johnson should Jay's in alive, Jay. God damn, Jay done.
Jay Militant, what's cracking? Yeah, man, I have to give it to you for your 49ers, Jay Militant, man. Yeah, look like you guys are going to do it, man. Looks like you guys are going to do it, Jay Militant. You know what I'm saying?
Right, Pyramid, you already on it. Yes, sir. Tangibles 2020.
Yes, sir. You see, now, the dump, as in human shit, and I want to make this perfectly clear. Okay. This asshole is up there, man, talking about what he's going to do. I think the dump is on drugs, man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
The dump is on dope, man.
Oh, no. We're going to get
bang, bang, his 49er gang. Yeah, Jay Militant, man. Yeah, you know. Well, you know they got to come out here to Las Vegas to win that Super Bowl ring, man. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully you guys are going to play the Ravens, man, because you owe them one. You know what I'm saying?
Who won? Yeah, Pittsburgh beat them earlier?
Yeah, I think Pittsburgh won. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, you know, you get something tangible for your vote, and we got to have our own institutions of banking. We have to have our own institutions of commerce. We have to have our own institutions of agriculture. We also got to have our own institution of STEM.
Twin, what is your football team? Come on up.
Twin Pyramid.
Houston got it in. Oh, what?
Houston got it in tonight. The Texans.
So they definitely. So they're gonna be in a wild card, or they got a divisional.
I think they're going wild card.
No, we ain't going nowhere. Neither one of our teams.
Yeah, man, I know, but there's only one satisfaction that we got here in Vegas. The Super Bowl will be here in a few weeks. And you could best believe I'm going to be far, far away from Allegiant Stadium because you're going to have too many drunks out there, man. Shit, damn Las Vegas Boulevard going to turn into the Indy 500.
I may try to make it out there and film something there.
Yeah. Well, only thing I can say about that there is this, my good brother. You know, what goes on in Vegas stays in Vegas, and it's Sin City for real.
Well, no, I'm gonna put that shit out on the internet, man. I'm gonna harass some cops and shit. I'm gonna put it all on the internet.
We all down on Fremont Street.
Yeah, Dr. Phil right here. And I ain't talking about the white Dr. Phil.
Is this that Uncle Tom motherfucker, man? I can't. Oh, no.
Not Rolling Moly, no, not Rolling Moly, man. No, hell no, it ain't Rolling Martin, man. And I looked at some shit that he said.
This is Uncle Phil, Scott. So cool. This is Uncle Phil.
Let me hear what he got to say.
This brother's heavy.
Oh, but I want to hear your thoughts on the tangibles. What did you think about all that you just heard, Joe Cool?
I thought it was absolutely logical. I was in Florida, Fort Lauderdale, with some elite brothers that fuck with the Miami Dolphins and all of that shit. They was having a cookout, and they had one rule: no feelings here, blah blah, which I love. And that was one of the things we talked about, reparations. Look, my man was like, listen, no one wants to talk about this. But if you've held one particular race down all those fucking years and given shit to all them niggas, how else you gonna make it even unless you give that particular race shit to catch up? And what they don't want to hear is you got to stop them other motherfuckers until they catch up. That's the truth of it. And, you know, it sounds a lot like what you cats are saying.
Oh yeah, you right on code. Thank you, Joe. That was definitely a refresher, reconfirmation of what we're talking about. Because I'm like, man, I know we can't be the only ones that think like this out here.
No, it was a great argument. I talk about it a lot. I think it was a really good argument. If you want to make shit even, and you've been giving this guy $50 a week all this time, and this guy $10 a week, if you want to make it even, what other way is it than to fucking get that motherfucker his other $30 or whatever?
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, if they're gonna talk that bullshit that we all the same, you know what I'm saying?
Right? Make it so.
Yeah, exactly. And then also too, my brother created the hashtag called Resurrection of the Mental Dead as well too.
We've been pushing the hashtag Joe Cool for the past 4 years. Like Facebook, YouTube has literally given us those hashtags because we've been using them so much.
Which hashtags?
Tangibles.
The tangibles, really?
Yeah, tangibles. Cut the check.
Cut the check. I like that.
Now, tangibles or no vote. 2024.
Tangibles. I'm gonna forget that because I'm high and I forget everything, man. But I wish I remember.
Well, just write it down, brother. Just write it down. You got a notepad with you, man. Just write it down.
It's 2024. I usually use my phone for that. Hold on, I got a notepad.
From like a touch field measure count.
All right. Hashtag tangibles.
Yes.
Yeah, 2024.
2024.
And the hashtag resurrection of the mental dead.
Hold on.
We on all of them. Okay, so we ain't all the same.
All right, I got it. Hashtag tangibles.
So y'all ain't the same. And what do you say? Say that the revolutionary agenda says audit your ass off, Joe Cool.
You do.
The revolutionary agenda says take down the damn banner and put up the copyright.
100,000 on YouTube. Congratulations again.
Oh man.
Wait, we got 100,000 on YouTube.
Who has 100,000 on YouTube?
Who has 100,000 on YouTube?
I got 100,000.
Oh, Joe Cool. Okay. Reparations is what we on. Okay, the Lady Che, types in with the revolutionary agenda.
So I'm gonna take down the banner, but it's because I'm sharing the screen. Okay, let me take the banner down.
Okay, yeah.
No, we can see you still, Lady Che.
Yeah, cut the check, reparations or no vote, tangibles or no vote. Exactly. You see, now, the cold part about it is this. Okay, Jesse Jackson with his messy ass, okay, and with me being an old bastard, let me tell you a memory I got.
Hold that thought, Shabaka. So what are your thoughts on the tangibles? Shabaka?
Okay, I'm here. Yeah, where's our man at?
He's still here.
Yeah, I see him right there. I wonder if his computer screen froze up.
No, I'm there. He was asking you. I thought he asked you.
Shabaka, what are your thoughts on the tangibles?
Glad you brought it up. You're damn right for the tangibles. You're giving tangibles to every other motherfucker out here except us. Okay, number one. Plus, we built the fucking country, sweat, labor, and blood. You see what I'm saying? All of us, okay, have been violated in our bloodline by the raping, slave trading pedophile. And I want to make that perfectly clear. Okay, that shit was no picnic. Well, no, we all ain't the goddamn same. And like I says, and I tell any of you European descendants to come out here to Las Vegas, Nevada.
We call them the adultos, Shabaka. They are adultos. The descendants of slave owners.
Yes, you know, the descendant of slaveholders come out here to Las Vegas, say about June the 20th on the first day of summer. And and since everybody wants to crumb bum on my light skin, I ain't never had sunburn before in my life.
I don't think I have either.
Yes. So those of you of the Caucasian persuasion who don't like me, okay, come bring your ass out here, you know, on June the 20th. And you got to leave your sunscreen at home. That's the key. Now, also, too, please give us a note on the first aid of your sunburnness. You see what I'm saying? Because we are not going to leave you out there in that sun because it's vicious. We're not that inhumane. But I tell you one thing, what you crackers would do to us, you would take us up there to the middle of Iceland this time of year and leave us out there. Watch us freeze to death.
I'm trying to move on, Lady J.
Okay, I'm sorry, Lady J. Let's move on. Okay.
Lady J, did you want to share your thoughts?
Yeah, she says take down the comments, like show the comment banners real quick so people could see our guests.
I'm on Mozilla.
There is like, so what I got to do with anything? What I said is yeah, no. Even so what here, like even if they took us outside in the cold, just even because we have melanin in our skin, we won't get red within 5 minutes. It'll take us like 4 hours to get red because it's so cold. You know what I mean? Our
My
blood,
old man got it.
Lady J.
we won't get our face red. You know, as soon as they get outside, everything turns red. You know what I mean? It's old as fuck. They think they're invincible, right? So they go outside with their clothes on. As soon as they hit the fucking cold air, especially in Colorado, as soon as they hit the cold air, the shit turns bright red, right? And they try to be so drunk that you sunburn or you snowburn too. But for us, because we have melanin in our skin, half or no half, it's gonna take us at least 4 hours to turn red. At least 4, okay? And, I mean, ask Jesse. I try this all the time. I'm like, shit, you don't see my hands cold, cuz you fuck what they're talking about. Light and shit. Fuck you.
I remember one day in Denver,
light as
Colorado.
fuck. But it takes forever to get red. And it's sunburn? Never.
Okay. And this was like around December, Lady J, December, January. I'll never forget. In Denver, I step outside because I see the sun nice and bright. I step outside, and I was out there for no more than 3 minutes.
Time, and that was when I was in Vegas, Shabaki.
Yeah, the sun is vicious here. The sun is vicious here. But I would think for that was you put that shea butter on for that.
It comes out. There's like strings of red that come out. That's the truth about that. You know what I mean? When you're outside gardening over there at the garden, right? And you're outside all day in the fucking sun. What happens? Your undertones of like red come through the brown, and the theory, it's like a whole different experience with the melanin, right? So you know, we can speak to it because we know about it. Even us light-skinned folk, we know all about that. You know, different tones come out. You know, not like the motherfucking the pasties and shit. They go from one color to the next. White.
My old man was told he had to take some medication, and on the medication it said stay out of the sun because it may be harsh for you. So we're out there fishing.
And my old man, goddamn color.
The real thing is, you know, check it out. There's a thing about African woman, right? Not wanting to be called. She wanted to be called colored, right? All over. She don't want to be called black in the United States, right? It's an offense. When it's an offense for us to call her colored. Yeah. There's a whole big thing about it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Hey, so what? It's nice out here. It's nice out here right now in the weather. Hey, look, Venezuelans can't handle it. Neither can the whites. Okay,
Jay Militant says, hey, he never had sunburn. He only gets darker. Now, Jay Militant, as you know, sir, over there in San Francisco, man, 75 degrees is a heat wave, brother. You know what I'm saying? But I do know that SF did get up to 90 degrees one time when I was there, man. I couldn't believe it. It's because who was old boy, man, that wrote that book, The Jumping Frogs of Calaveras County, and he said the coldest winter he spent was summer in San Francisco. And then he says you can all have that Colorado weather, blowing ice out of your nose, bump that. No, MD, you right about that. I went out there in 15 degrees below zero weather one day that thought it was nice and warm because the sun was out, man. I was packing out 5 minutes later.
Months ahead.
Oh, man. We'll be all right. And like we've been here long enough. Me and Jenzy been here. Jenzy been here his whole life. I've been here long enough that it's all right. I prefer sometimes. I like the cold. I like the heat, but I like the cold too.
You can have the cold, lady. Check. I got enough cold for me here in Sin City right now. You know what I'm saying? Is because let's see, right now it's 49 degrees.
Like right now it's 23 degrees. I have to be in a hoodie because my heart will stop if it gets any lower. Like so it's gotta be, I'm just gonna be a little fire like this, like you know what I mean? Because of my heart, but my heart was working at full capacity. It wouldn't be no big thing. Yeah, I don't be worried about it. And sometimes I'll be like, yeah, shit. Right now, warm. I'm here. Okay,
Was that a dude wearing a dress? Oh,
yeah, that was the ritual. That was the ritual that Katt Williams was talking about.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Look, we just thought Tyrese in a fucking dress. I don't give a fuck what he says. He wearing a motherfucking dress. He wearing a dress looking like a real big motherfucker in a dress. Like, it's totally awkward. It's really awkward.
You will see it's a whole long list of them.
Go back to normal. Yeah. Fucking Tyrese of all things, right? I mean, he waited to 2024, 2023 to put on a motherfucking dress. If you was dating it earlier, should have just done it. We could have, what's wrong with you?
That jacket he put over that Muslim garb.
Yeah.
Muslim. Is Muslim? Because he wasn't it like that though.
It's a Muslim garb. He was in like Dubai or something.
Because he wasn't rocking. My bad. But he wasn't rocking it like Muslim.
No, he was rocking it like a bra.
Right. Yes. See the confusion.
Wow. Okay. MD says that Vegas heat is different from southern heat. It's dry and everything is hot to the touch, and the south, the humidity will kick your ass. He's right about that. Yeah.
But
I went to the south one time and Mr. Humidity, man. Yeah, it was bad.
Real bad. That's when the roaches start
I
flying.
like the humid personally.
Yeah.
Start flying and hissing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Great shit with there.
Yeah.
Yep.
But as you know, MD, the Vegas heat, man, it's the desert heat. And keep in mind, here in the desert, you have the high desert and you have the low desert. You see what I'm saying?
We sit on
the low desert.
MD. See, everybody think we live on the mountains, or we live on a mountain and we throw rocks at each other. That's what mugs from back east think. Family members from out east tell me that. That's what you think that we do here. But we're on a high plane. The mountains are to the west of us. The west of us.
Right. That's our what is that? That's our land port. Land position. Like we get lost.
We're Midwest. No, we're not Midwest. We are west. We don't get west, you get to Colorado. But we're Rocky Mountain.
Right. And you start hitting the Midwest when you hit like Iowa, I think.
Hey,
Nebraska,
the real question is,
Iowa.
Safe right now.
Certainly,
I used to think we were safe being in Colorado from all the other shit, right? Like we would be in a safe little spot. I used to think that all the way up until like just recently. And I was like, fuck no, we ain't safe. This is the first place to do, very bad acts, right? I don't want to say it out loud. I don't want to wish that on us, right?
They got a military base here. There's places on the list of targets.
You're a truck driver, MD, so yeah, you already know. Yeah, I know, Tay. I've driven
It's
through
terrible.
cars.
I used to think the mountains
you know,
were
it's that Eisenhower Tunnel too. You know, not to come.
Yeah, that's Interstate 70. I've been through that.
We're protected nowhere over here.
It was all foggy, like right out earlier in the mountains. So the mountains are to the west of us. So the mountains usually get a lot of snow, and then whatever's left we get. But we do get some.
Okay, now what's the? Okay, now Brother Che and Lady Che, can you all explain what the front range is and the back range is?
So we basically is where the continental divide. So where the whole continent is divided.
Yeah.
The North American continent, we start that
right.
Part of that, and so it's the Rocky Mountain range, because you know that Rocky Mountain range all the way up until Alaska.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's because I've crossed the Rocky Mountains, man, you know, in Utah, I crossed them in Colorado, I crossed them in Montana. And then once you get down the mountain from Vail, Denver, pretty flat going into Nebraska. Yeah, it is, MD20.
Yeah, it is. We're on a high-ass plain.
Right.
I like Nebraska.
Yeah.
A mile-high plain.
Yeah. Well, you know, one of our favorite sons was born there in Omaha, Nebraska in 1925, and we all know who that is.
Malcolm X.
Yeah, was the X-Man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And he was so light-skinned that they used to call him Detroit Red. Yeah, they used to call the X-Man Detroit Red.
So some of the greatest were the light was they were some of the strongest voices for our people, you know. It just happens to be. That's just how it comes out, you know.
And they were black. So stop it. Cut this bullshit out.
They were black,
it's
but they were black.
It's really
the strongest fucking voices.
Like,
you know,
our melanin is more apparent than others. We still victims of racism and white supremacy, and we need to actively fight it every chance we get. Not try to get in with it. Not try to get along with it. Do away with it, destroy it. And for you so-called white accomplices, that's all I want around me. I don't want no ally. I want an accomplice. I want you to use your white privilege for good.
I prefer not. I would prefer the opposite. Just keep fuck away from me. It's like you've been doing for about 3 years. That energy. You know what I mean? Before you treat me like shit. That's their energy till I'm gone. Like, hey, now I got it. So stay on that bullshit. I'm cool with it. They can be gone for all I care because their energy is fucking ugly towards me. And they've been on that shit since I was a little girl, like 43 fucking years. So they can keep that same energy. I'm cool. I got to play. We're going to separate. You know? Like, I'm cool.
You just so happen to have an epiphany moment and, we have done the people so bad. Cut the goddamn check. Otherwise, ain't nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to hear nothing else out of you, Cockazoid.
Yeah, no apologies.
You're going to get on code with white supremacy, or you're going to get off code and help those that are victims of it.
Is it something innate in white people? Is it something innate in them that makes them evil?
When you look at history, my good brother, I would have to say so. Yeah, I would have to say so.
Because they got
going when you look at the Rodney King case
for all those thousands of years. There's a book, it's called The Iceman's Inheritance. You remember the author,
Shabaka? I've heard of the book, The Iceman's Inheritance, but I'm looking at the cover of the book. I see the author's name, man, but I can't bring it to my memory. This is what happens when you get old.
You've been doing pretty good with them dates, bro.
Shit, man. I mean, I was impressed the other day. I don't care how old you think you is.
Right. Still got it. After all these years, he still
I'd like to invoke my lawyer, Shabaka said, Corey. Thank you.
I'd
like to invoke my attorney to speak for me, Shabaka said, Corey. Thank you.
I already heard my JD.
That's all I gotta say. There's nothing at all. And I believe he can speak for me. Thank you.
Hey, well, we're gonna watch that guy speak. Who you had up there?
Yes, yes.
Oh yeah. Phil Scott, he's happy.
Yeah, so continue to mass up the tangible for your vote, Black family. This is just the beginning. If these demo rats are already on their heels like we about to see on these videos.
Are you gonna ask what he thinks about tangibles, cuz, or anybody else?
I did.
Yeah, you asked me first.
Oh, well, you gonna ask me? Because I like to tell you what I think about tangibles.
Yes, I asked you. I was waiting on your answer. Go ahead, Lady Chen.
All right, cool. I think about tangibles is it's something you can feel, see, it's written down, it's actual, it's like a guarantee. You're gonna see it, you're gonna feel it, it's gonna benefit you. And that means when it comes to voting. I'm saying this in regards to voting, the way it's looking and the way they've already planned, the way they've been showing for the last couple of months, the decision is kind of already made for us. It's a selection. So as a community or as Black people, you have to make the right decision or really go with whatever you want to go with. But they're pointing us, or they're pointing Black people, they're pointing everybody in a direction. We are not hearing what they're going to do specifically for Black people, because it's always all inclusive, or they'll try to invade it or pivot around it. So when you think about this year's election and you think about the states, think about what that particular candidate's going to do specifically for Black people, meaning somebody should be asking them damn politicians that are on these debates what they're going to do specifically for Black people. Yeah, that's all I think.
You're right on that, Lady Chen, particularly to Sheila Jackson Lee, Cory Booker.
Don't ask anything though, Black people. If you haven't noticed, you don't see anybody ask Black people, regular, normal, everyday resident citizens, about how they feel about anything or what they want to see happen or what kind of changes they would like to see. No one ever asks the Black people, and they always
Why would you ask the Black people? Because everybody think they know better than we do anyway.
Yeah, they never ask us. So they don't want to hear it, because if they were paying attention and it's all over the internet, it's all over the media, then nobody's acknowledging it, then they would see Black people in the America, the foundational Black Americans, right, want tangibles or no vote, reparations or no vote, and there's a stipulation with the reparations. Not everybody can get it. So reparations for no vote, cutting the check, no more fucking studies and all this extra shit, right? Just call and a couple of fucking Black economists and get your job done. Then, you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. But they're not asking us. So they're forcing us by media to go a certain alignment. So I just to let you guys think about that. Think about what's going to be best, because we're going to be stuck for the next 4 years with whoever they choose. It's not going to be a fair election. It's not. It isn't. I mean, if you ask,
they already got the twist set up already, Lady Chen. Not cutting you off.
Who's Black? They will tell you the fucking drama that goes for running for office. As Jesse, as me, we've seen it with our own eyes. We've seen another friend of ours even sue somebody, and we watched it just fail. And he was like considered a multiracial individual. You know what I mean? But they choose. They'll put difficult obstacles. Like, look what's going on in the States. Now they're picking and choosing whether they want to do this or that, or whether they can have this person or that person, or Trump here or not. You know what I mean? So just look at it. It's so controversial. And I just read something right now that said, just be prepared for all the misinformation. So they're planning on misinforming us. You know what I mean? It's already pre-programmed. Just read between the lines, take out the motherfucking platitudes, and babble, word salad, and you'll see that it's plain and fucking simple. They're not going to let us choose. So that's all I got to say about tangibles. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
And also, too. Oh yeah, okay, and then also too, and then for the brutalization that we've been through, that's another thing you for the tangibles as well too. and what have you, and then the shattering of the Black family unit and the Willie Lynch doctrine.
Well, what a white motherfucker today had to pay. They ain't on no slaves. Why would they get good money out of their taxes?
For my count, at least okay. You think that's about it. By the time you owe reparations. You know what I mean? So just think about that. But we have to talk about where cotton and why cotton. Time bucket, you can wear motherfucking drawers with a fucking t-shirt. That's when you start. You're talking about reparations and shit. You start from there. When these
okay about that shit.
You know what I mean? What do they do with cotton? They want, fucking white people should be thank you, Foundation of Black Americans. You have drawers on. Thank them. Thank somebody. Thank somebody.
Everything that you have today, thank us.
You don't have drawers on your ass. You don't thank anybody for that, right? Come on now.
Baby, let me hear one of the other guys. Let me hear one of their opinions. What do you think? White motherfucker, he didn't own slaves. Why would they get black man reparations?
Oh, because they still benefited off of it, because the gross national product of the United States had benefited off of slave labor as a whole.
That's a really good answer. What about you, bro?
I say the same.
Right.
This is it's old. This is not a handout. This is not welfare. This is not subsidy.
Right.
Three times out here.
I think people always forget that it's still going on now too, right? People don't talk about that. It's still, we can't get a loan, and we use more time for the same crime, blah, blah, blah. It's still going on.
Yep.
Let's see the video. We'll never see it, bro.
Gotta get all over there.
I've seen this brother. I'm trying to remember where from.
Oh, Phil Scott, yeah, man. Not African
Phil Scott,
or news channel. He been around a good 10 years.
That's what it is. All them black videos. I think that's what I be seeing him playing, like the police fucking over black folk.
Yeah, he got all that. He got all.
And then one tidbit of information I just came across, not cutting nobody off. The defense secretary was in the hospital and Biden didn't know about it for 5 days.
Sleepy Joe ass is got dementia.
Yeah. Hey, listen, we should vote for Trump though, right, man? Because Trump, he gonna make everything better for us, right?
Hey, look, man.
Trump gonna heal the land. What y'all laughing at? Trump gonna heal the land.
He's taking the land. I just want to know if he can come back.
We don't support the dump as a human shit either. We don't want to make that perfectly clear at all. If we're gonna vote, it's gonna be because we're getting somebody that is gonna provide something tangible for.
I'm on black vacation on election day. I'm on black vacation.
Don't waste your time.
Right, I'm not wasting my time.
And if you still feel so compelled, you can always go third party.
Yeah, I mean, and even then, I probably won't do it because you got to be talking about actually fucking.
I'm about to say, is any other candidates talking about that? Anything tangible? I haven't even heard them talk about reparations. Any other candidates?
And if they won't do nothing specifically for us, like
that's what Nikki Haley was talking about. She's against reparations.
But see, you know how you be in the face asking them, what's the law, and we be in these Patricians' face. Like, what are you going to do specifically for black people? We showed out at all the town halls, all the meetings.
Very good, very good.
Season, even after the campaign season, we still in their faces. Saying, what are you going to do specifically for black people? I was the only candidate that ran on a black first agenda. Now, when we say black, we're not saying black.
Very good.
We're saying black.
That's interesting as fuck.
Me too.
We ran in Aurora. Yeah. We ran on a black first agenda, scaring the hell out these Democrats.
That's stop. And then we're gonna let us divide them by race. We're gonna let us divide them by race.
Thorn.
And we shouldn't want the white mayor that took my shit and is running the city now, to fail.
No, I agree with them. I can't wish failing and hurting on no motherfucker. But equality,
Hey, you stole my shit, you stole my work, and you fucking decided to implement it when it really benefits these campaigns.
They're just idiots, been tricked by Shaitan. They just been tricked. They're idiots. That's all out of me. Just idiots have been tricked by Shaitan. That's all.
And then keep in mind, though, too, the intellectual property that they benefit off the slaves as well, too.
He said definitely idiots. That's for sure.
And look, the white boy swooped in, and he had black people working for him. Black person touched my flyers, handed it to a white boy. He go spin it out, and that's how he won the election.
And said that if you ain't black, you
got Bloomberg money.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, you ain't black. Nigga, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, really.
So try to tell everybody they were black. Look what happened.
Well, we black.
You're supposed to accept for one. And change his mind.
And then old Sleepy Joe, he's gonna come up there, and the first place he targets is the black community. That was just dumb. Yeah, but
that's show you the Uncle Tom ass niggas he been around. If you don't vote for Joe, you ain't black. He thought he felt comfortable saying that because him the type of niggas he been around.
Yeah, that was supposed to be
exactly.
They want to talk about Uncle Joe. They didn't want to talk about Uncle. We already know your history. We tried to warn these mugs.
Right. Him and Kamala got that same crushed black people history.
He comes from
yes, sir. And we're not going to talk about the vice president. One thing I would say, Willie Brown had a time with her and wound up getting a divorce.
Vice president is an anchor baby, and she's only black when it's convenient. And the only time it's convenient is during elections time.
Right. As they say, Joe and the hoe gotta go.
Joe and the whole DNC gotta go, and now they want to reach out to us, specifically black men, again.
Right.
So our good brother Professor Black Truth, shout out to Professor Black Truth. I've been listening to Professor Black Truth over 10 years now.
What's the professor doing? Drop knowledge.
He is going to give us an update on these Democrats and how shook they are.
Oh, this is him, for Professor Black Truth. This is him?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right, that's it, my man. Thanks for that. Yeah.
Professor, and this is the moment of truth. I don't know if you heard the news, but Biden's having a little bit of trouble with black voters, particularly black male voters. Shocking, I know. After his election victory in 2020, Biden said that he had black voters' backs. And no sooner than he was declared the winner, he immediately began going back on the few phony, hollow promises he had made on the campaign trail. Now, the plan the Democrats had would be to split the black vote right up the middle along lines of gender. So they made Kamala Harris the VP, even though there's still a question mark, if not an asterisk, next to the claim that her father is a black Jamaican. Then they made a black woman ambassador to the UN. They made a black woman the White House press secretary, and they made a black woman a Supreme Court justice. Now, they did these gestures in order to, they hoped, get black women to feel so indebted to them, so blindly loyal to them, that they would vote for the Democrats in 2024, no matter what, because of these high-profile black women who Biden put in these positions. And as for black men, well, they were thinking that black men, seeing all this political largesse and attention being given to black women, would lose morale, figure that we were made irrelevant, and come crawling back to beg for crumbs, or vote for nothing altogether. Only we haven't done that. And an increasing number of black women have followed suit. But since black men were the ones who this troublesome trend has begun with, now after 3 years of totally ignoring black male voters, the Democrats are having to face the reality. It's sunk in that black men were not so easily ignored and that black men were going to stay on their square. Now we got the headlines of the New York Times piece saying that allies gather at the White House. But it's not until you read the article itself that you see that Joe Biden wasn't among these allies. Quote, as President Biden's allies grow more worried that his standing is slipping among black men, his aides met on Tuesday at the White House with influential black male Democrats to discuss how to increase his popularity with a crucial group of voters before the 2024 election.
He didn't show up.
They're waiting until less than a year before the election. They only have until November to make the case. But the thing about it is, if they were doing their jobs and actually producing for Black voters, they wouldn't need to be doing this rearguard last-ditch effort at the last possible moment. Now, the story says that Biden's aides met with these allegedly influential Black male Democrats. Well, I want to know, where was Joe Biden at? He's the one running for office, not these aides. If they have allegedly recognized after 3 years how important Black male voters are, then why wasn't Joe Biden there himself to make the case for why he should give Black men support? And also, why did he invite only Black male Democrats? That's not to say that he should invite Black male Republicans, but when they say that word Democrats, we all know what that means. It means that they got the usual suspects, career DNC shills, party volunteers, Black men who are desperately hoping that they can get themselves a White House job to burnish their resumes. And these pathetic yes men came to the White House to tell the Democrats what trick language or weasel words they think will con us back into voting for nothing. It's just like these bootlicks you see on cable TV news. They're nothing but sock puppets. And those white media networks know that these bootlicks will only say what they're told to say. And what did these Black Democratic males say to Biden's aides? The Times wrote, several attendees said there was a general agreement that Mr. Biden, during both his 2020 campaign and his first 3 years in office, had paid more attention to Black female voters than to Black male ones. These people said they had suggested to Mr. Biden's aides that the president needed to make a specific argument about how his administration had improved the lives of Black men. So the first thing they do is admit the obvious. Biden spent the first 3 years making high-profile PR gestures, pretending to be boosting Black women, when all they were doing was the Democrats were giving gifts to themselves. They selected suck-ups who they knew from the jump were going to do what the Democrats wanted them to do and just ignore Black people altogether. But let me tell you something. Black people, male or female, don't need more attention. We need tangibles. Giving campaign speeches is attention, but it don't pay the bills. Right. And neither does putting some bootlick on the Supreme Court or in the White House or at the UN. But here we have the Times admitting that this is what the Democrats have been saying. Now, shouldn't it be obvious what Biden has done for Black men? Why does he have to say anything at all? So Biden didn't show up for this meeting, and the Black males who did show up are Democratic shills. What purpose does this serve then? Oh, that's right. It gives the White House the chance to put out a press release to the New York Times claiming that they're listening to Black men. This is supposed to be a gesture meant to pacify Black men and the trouble that we've been making for them. That's what this is about. The piece also has multiple quotes from one of the Democrats' favorite butt kissers, Cedric Richmond, who lasted all of 1 year before Biden got tired of pretending to be able to look at him. And what did Richmond have to say for himself? He said there's been a mantra that Black women are the base of the party, and I think it's Black families that are the base of the party. That has the potential to separate the family unit by gender, which I think is just unfortunate. Now, isn't this interesting? Now, for many, many years now, we've had the white media saying Black women are the backbone of the Democratic Party. And they've made it a point to ignore Black men completely. Why? Because they were trying to drive a gender divide. What you do is you go ahead and give phony, insincere praise to one group and then tell them that they're more important than other members of the same group. And what they're hoping is this will make these people get a big head and that they'll just obey orders. Well, that hasn't happened in this case. It's backfired on the Democrats and the white media. Richmond is currently a senior advisor to the Democratic National Committee, and here he is mentioning that the Democrats have been pandering and that it's backfired, at least as far as Black men are concerned. Right now, that one of Biden's former underlings has to publicly admit it. Now, you're probably wondering, who are these influential Black Democrat men who were at this meeting? Well, a few of the people who were listed were Representative Stephen Horsford, the chairman of the Congressional Black Caucus, Jaime Harrison, the chairman of the Democratic National Committee, Lieutenant Governor Austin Davis of Pennsylvania, along with Antoine Seawright and Clay Middleton, both of who are listed as political advisors from South Carolina, who are closely associated with Representative James Clyburn. So you got Stephen Horsford, who's an immigrant. Go look at my video about the Congressional Immigrant Caucus for that one. You got Jaime Harrison, who's also an immigrant, and Antoine Seawright, who's an LGBT activist, who I talked about in a moment of truth about Stacey Abrams' phony Black male voter outreach. Back in 2022, the white media was describing Antoine Seawright as a Democratic strategist. Now the New York Times is simply calling him a political operative closely associated with Jim Clyburn. No mention of C-Wright's failed efforts to help influence Abrams' gubernatorial run with a phony black male voter outreach program. No mention of how that effort crashed and burned. And when someone is politically aligned with nigga Jim Clyburn, that tells me they're certified dirty. So this is just a few of the individuals, the influential black male individuals who were at this meeting. As I said, all career DNC bootlicks whose real purpose was to be the safe Negroes who would say Biden needs to say all the things he's done for black men, and we'll go ahead and endorse every word of it. That was the game. Well, it won't work any more than Antoine C. Wright's advocacy for Stacey Abrams helped her. This isn't an article. It's a PR press release meant to get the roly-polies and the Mark Lamont Hills and other Democratic shills to say, see, Democrats are reaching out to black men. What more do you want them to do? But the Democrats don't control the House of Representatives, so you got to make sure they get the House back, and also make sure that Biden holds on to the White House. That is, if you want anything from them, that's what roly-poly and Mark Lamont Schill are going to say. You know, back in 2020, when Ice Cube was trying to get some FaceTime with Biden during the campaign, Ice Cube said that Cedric Richmond had told him black voters had to wait until after the election before they could make any sort of requests or demands of Biden, and that the Democrats couldn't do anything for black folks until they had complete control of the government. Well, black voters listened to them. We gave them the White House and the Senate and the House of Representatives, and what did Biden do after the election? He ignored us. In fact, he did worse than that. He began backtracking on that Lift Every Voice plan and that White House Police Accountability Commission he proposed. He went back on that one before he was even sworn into office. Naturally, Cedric Richmond totally denies Ice Cube's claims, but given Biden's own track record of lies, does it even matter? So we've heard this song and dance before, and we've heard it from the exact same cast of characters. The story says that according to Richmond, the group agreed that Mr. Biden had many accomplishments that had helped black men. Democrats, he said, are falling short in telling this story. There's another one we all know the meaning of. Biden had many accomplishments that helped black men. Yeah, they just can't tell you what any of them are, though none of them was about reparations or a hate crime bill specifically for black Americans. And that crap about Democrats are falling short in telling that story, well, that's the right word for it, story, because it's made up. Again, if Democrats had made all these wins for black voters, male or female, then the 2022 midterms turnout wouldn't have been so low. Abortion may be a good issue for giving Democratic turnout a little bit of a boost here and there, but the problem for the Democrats is that while it's true white, educated suburban women will vote to legalize abortion, it's also true that they will still turn right around and vote Republican on every other issue. The grab them by the genitals scandal didn't stop white women from voting for Trump in 2016, and he only gained white female voter support in 2020. Democrats' constant attempts to try to find substitutes for the black vote aren't working. And for Richmond to say telling the story, to me, that's a red flag that they want to be giving some work to some black consultants or some white ones who will come up with the next insulting ad campaign, and they'll call that black voter outreach. I can see roly-poly right now. Y'all need to hire me because y'all need to give me a consultant contract. I know how to talk to these sorry Negroes out here. I'll have them in God's hand. Now, why are Democrats suddenly coming up with the admission on this issue in particular? Perhaps it's because, as the Times reported in this very article, polling released by the New York Times and Siena College last month found that 22% of black voters in 6 of the most important presidential battleground states said they would support Mr. Trump against Mr. Biden next year, an alarming figure for Democrats given black voters' decades-long loyalty to the party. And the Times also points out that the meeting on Tuesday followed a particularly bad stretch of polling for Mr. Biden. CNN polls released Monday found Mr. Biden trailing Mr. Trump by 10 percentage points in Michigan and 5 points in Georgia, both battleground states with large numbers of black voters. By the way, notice that they don't say anything about the fact that black voter turnout for the Democrats has been trending downward for at least a decade. That is, ever since Obama's second term. So obviously, black voters have been soured on the Democrats since at least Obama's second term. And just out of curiosity, does anyone remember who Obama's vice president was? Oh, yeah, Joe Biden. So the white media admits that Biden realizes he's lost his black voter support in a number of battleground states, states that he needs if he's going to win. Notice that Biden is 10 percentage points behind Trump in Michigan. Trump carried Michigan in 2016, by the way. This is why we see Democrats who are going hog wild, filling the courtrooms with 14th Amendment challenges to Trump's candidacy in all 50 states. Clearly, the Democrats must feel that they can't beat Trump any other way. And by doing this, they hope to circumvent the ballot box and try to beat him without having to offer black people anything. Well, as I told you last week, the Michigan Supreme Court refused to take Trump off the ballot in that state. And since he's 10 points ahead of Biden, if he can hold that lead, he'll carry Michigan easily. And Biden will also lose Georgia, which was a state that he carried in 2020. So this is why we see the Democrats suddenly interested in getting black men back, because their other tricks and schemes have failed. Okay, so that's what this is. Let me tell you what it's not. This is not some come to this moment. The Democrats didn't just wake up and suddenly have an epiphany, especially not Cedric Richmond. This creep was wholesale ignoring his own black constituents when he was in government office in Louisiana, and he was part of the Biden administration too. But here he is now singing a brand new tune. I wonder why. Well, it's not because they had a change of heart. The only reason that they're admitting that splitting the black vote along gender lines is unfortunate is because it didn't work. If it had, they'd be holding free screenings of The Color Purple at the White House right now. And when you look at what the Biden White House's strategy is to try to rope back in those black male voters, you see it's the same as the Israelis when they said that young black people were Israel's biggest problem. And what did that woman say the Israelis did about it? That they held some private dinners with individuals who they called the black leaders. Of course, nobody in black America would call any of these suck-ups and sellouts leaders, which is why this trick keeps failing. But the Democrats are doing the same thing. Kamala Harris had some meaningless photo op in November where she invited a whole 10 black men to her home in D.C. I wonder if her white husband was there too. They invite these sorry Negroes to dinner. Basically, you can buy off a bootleg for a meal. Just like these do-nothing civil rights organizations, give them a free breakfast, a free luncheon, or a free fish fry, and they'll be eating out of your hand. The Times says that the Democrats have also bought advertisements on black radio stations, these digital ads geared toward young black voters. Oh, like get your booty to the polls? Because that's the kind of black voter ad campaigns the Democrats like to run. One of the greatest political weapons that white supremacy has used against us is our own forgetfulness. We let all kinds of things slide. We let people walk all over us, disrespect us, lie to us constantly, and then 5 minutes later, we just forget all about it. But the black media didn't let that happen. We've kept reminding you of the lies, and now here they are trying to recycle the same lies that they told us 4 years ago. And their failure to do so has been so great they've been forced to have to fess up. But here's the problem. Democrats have made phony promises to us for so long and lied through their teeth, we have no reason to believe them this time. So how do they intend to get our vote when their campaign promises are not even seen as possibly legitimate? And their gender war to pit black men against black women has failed. So what are they going to do? When you've blown your credibility, it's not the job of the voters to give you confidence. It's your job to earn it. Right. But if you want to hint at what the Democrats should do, they can start by talking about reparations openly in the same terms that we do. That's right. Nothing about immigrants, nothing about housing vouchers or HBCU money or any other sort of trick. Just cash, specifically for black people whose lineage can be traced back to the killing fields of the American South. Cash. Yeah. That's how they get their credibility back. Have check, will vote. Or they can just wait until Trump takes back the White House later this year and see what kind of promises he's willing to make. Good day, and be one. I'd like to take a moment to mention some of our contributors.
So yeah, Joe, cool. That's Professor Black Truth. Professor Black Truth, that was awesome. Couldn't have said it better myself. All right, what do you
very much?
Shabaka.
Well, the professor is always dropping knowledge, as he always does. I appreciate the professor's style. And then let's be real, people. They're going to rig this election.
Okay. He's listening to Mr. T. Okay.
Okay. Is brother still with us?
To lay down, y'all. So.
Okay. All right.
Hey, that lady Chain.
Yeah, and so Professor Black Truth, yeah, he is speaking the truth, you know what I'm saying? And like he says, half check will vote. And I'm gonna ask Professor Black Truth if we could use that line. Half check will vote.
Yep. I'm sure he wouldn't mind us spreading that.
Yeah. You know. And then the cold part about it is, you know, is that they want us so dummy down, man, is that they got us hating ourselves, you know what I'm saying? You know, off of recent events that you're very, very well aware of, you know, keeping us divided, and they conquer. You see? And that's all. But one thing about the dump, you know, know what he is.
And we want to make
and he stated how he honestly feels. You know?
Yeah.
You see? And I don't have a problem with that. Because I'd much rather a motherfucker sit up there and tell me he hates my guts, man, you know, than sit up there and smile in my face. You know?
Yeah, read the comments about it.
Okay. All righty. Okay, comments coming in. Okay. I have to put some eyes on right here. This is what happens when you... Okay. Yeah, I got to go early, Black family. I'm really sick from my heart. Stay black, stay dangerous, stay favorite. See you tomorrow. Okay, Lady Che, you have a nice night. Hope you feel much, much better. Okay. All righty. And then part 2 in the RVA, hopefully, if I'm doing better. Peace, y'all. Okay, Lady Che. We read you loud and clear, ma'am. Okay, Brother Che. And I think we got Dr. Phil coming up next, or Professor Phil.
Yeah. We got Charlamagne. Charlamagne the Coon, otherwise known as the God.
Yeah, you have to enlighten me on that. I've been hearing a whole lot of controversy on dude.
Oh, Charlamagne the Coon? Oh, well, Charlamagne the Coon, he put all his chips behind Biden in 2020. And
okay.
Part of the Breakfast Club, we call them the Breakfast Slubs.
Yeah, because they had, I saw a recent episode of theirs where they had Umar Johnson up there with him, you know. And then keep in mind, we had Dr. Umar Johnson on Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced, I believe, on our second episode and what have you. And I would like to reach out to Dr. Johnson, you know, because there's something I want to relate to him.
Yeah, I think he charged for appearances, but yeah.
Well, I'm not mad at him. You know, I'm not mad at him. And then also, too, we're going to start charging, too. Because I do know that Shahrazad Ali charges, and keep in mind, I'm not mad at him for charging, you know what I mean, and whatnot. But this is why, you know, we try to monetize what we're doing so we can have, you know, other quality guests on our platform when we've had quality guests before in the past.
That's right, Shabaka. So is that your final thoughts on the DNC trying to reach out to Black voters?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I tell every Black male voter out there is fuck them. Okay, it's because of all of what they did to us. You see? Oh yeah, Uncle Phil.
Kind of expound on, and you.
So this is
tonight on the podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
So like I said, he put his chips on the Democrats in 2020, and now he got Biden's remorse.
There was an article that came out Politico, and this article was focusing on Charlamagne the God, as you can see on the screen, Trouble with a God. And I actually looked at this article and kind of went through it and seen what they were talking about. So I want to kind of expound on that a little bit. Now, we know Charlamagne has, had Hillary on their show, Breakfast Club. We know the famous interview with Biden where, Biden, you remember he said,
"You have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black."
Yeah, so that you remember that famous, statement from Biden, and then even Larry Elder had to clown his behind about that.
Man, fuck Larry Elder, man.
Biden during that time, but he was out here encouraging everybody to go vote for Biden, go vote for Harris. He said the only reason he supported Biden is because Kamala got on the ticket, right? So Charlamagne right now is having voters' remorse. On top of that, he's dealing with people telling him, "Hey, Charlamagne, you told me to go vote for him. I voted for him, and look what's happening right now." Charlamagne, I'm in Chicago, right? Let's say you're a resident of Chicago, and you listen to Charlamagne. You tell Charlamagne, "Hey, I voted for this guy, and we got people just pouring into the border all day long. They're in my city taking resources." It could be a brother or sister from New York where the show is hosted, right? Hey, Charlamagne, we listen to you, voted for Biden. Now look at our city. This wasn't like this when Trump was in office, bro. So he has to deal with that. See, y'all don't understand. When you get on these microphones, you got to be very careful in what you say. You got to be very careful on who you're going to put your weight behind. That's why you really don't, be careful who you put your weight behind with a politician, right? And if you're going to do that, say why you saying it, right? Now, you can't be, oh, well, this guy's this guy that. No, it has to be a problem. And I told all of y'all, at the end of the day, it's your choice who you want. Now, you want Biden, that's your business. I don't understand why.
Right.
If you want to sit it out, that's cool too.
Right.
If you want to vote for Trump, that's on you too. It's your choice in the day, not my choice.
Right.
I'll just say how I personally feel about it. I am not, me. I'm not voting for Democrats. It ain't happening. It's not. It's just not happening.
Over a decade.
I used to be a Democrat at one point in time in my life. I mean, most of all black people were Democrats, right? We were raised to be Democrats. We were raised that. That was our upbringing. Black people, Democrat. It was no Republican. Republicans were evil. Republicans were racist. That's how we was raised. Okay? So to tell a black person anything outside of Democrat, you going deep and messing with their upbringing. That's why you have such a hard time telling them anything outside of Democrat. Most black folks will sit it out a lot of times before they go to Republican. Now that's the old. We talking about the older black people. Now, what I can't case as of yet, what would Gen X, Millennials, and Gen Z do? Would they be that generation that's willing to say, okay, I may not agree with Trump on this, but I sure agree with him on the migrants. And we have to be the generation be about our paper. It ain't about all that virtue signaling and all that mess like that. Not making us $1. I'm sorry, I'm not on that. You can't tell me nothing about no LGBT because I can't feed my kids with LGBT. You can't tell me about abortion because I can't put no clothes on my kids' back. I can't keep the lights on. Our people that work with us can't get paid with abortion or nothing like that. I need finances to come in here so not only we can pay the people that we got that work with us, pay myself, pay everybody got to get paid, right? Everybody got to get paid. So that stuff that the Democrats do, though, like I say, little side quests they focus on, has nothing to do with what matters at the end of the day. What matters at the end of the day is paper, getting that paper in your pocket. When they talk about Trump during the pandemic, Trump made sure everybody got a stimulus check. Black folks call it stimmies, right? It got so crazy with the stimmies. Instead of using it for that, some people's going over to the Dominican Republic. You remember that video, going to get BBLs and all that with the stimmies. It was crazy seeing those videos, right? But whatever people did with their stimulus check, that's what they did. Some people saved it. Some people did a whole lot of great things with their money. During the time of Trump, which Charlamagne agreed about this, the First Step Act happened, where you had brothers and sisters get out of jail. Biden was the guy to put black folk in jail. Black folks that would have today a medical condition, which is an addiction, right? He wanted them in jail, and he wanted them to serve 85% of the time in jail before they even be eligible for parole. This was Biden did that. And black folks, like Charlamagne, encouraged them to go out and vote. Well, you know, Boulay Martin, that's all he is. He's just a Democrat, right? But Charlamagne jumped on the train. So Charlamagne got a lot of egg on his face right now. So all the egg is on his face. People are criticizing him. He don't like it. It messed with his reputation. He's angry. So when you make someone like that that advocated for you angry, now they become a thorn in your side, right? And that's what the Democrats look at with Charlamagne. Now, all the shields have called Charlamagne. I know the Angela Rise have called him. The Tiffany Cross have called him. All the females, that's what they'll do. They'll send a black woman to you to try to, oh, come on, brother. No, I know they send them to him because you can't tell no man to talk to him. So they're going to send the women, right? But Charlamagne, right now, he's standing on business because it's that bad, Democrats. And if you think Charlamagne, the God, is a problem for you, like I said, Charlamagne's nice. I have been on a total focus campaign on telling my people what you have done, not making up no lies on you, what you have done. If you look at my podcast, at first I didn't create it to be talking about no Democrat.
No.
Really, I want to talk about other things. But I say, wait a minute. The Democrat Party is a menace to my community. My community have came out and voted for these people for over half a century, 60 years already. It's well over half a century.
Yep.
We have got nothing. The migrants didn't vote at all. They come across the border and they get resources. You doggone right, I'm gonna say something.
Right.
Why do you think more and more black people are saying, wait a minute, hold on, man. Hold on. What is this? This can't fly. Then, like I said, you got some people still silly, talking about, well, how come oppressed people talking about oppressed people? I'm worried about my oppression. I'm not worried about nobody else's oppression right now.
That's right.
When my oppression's over and then my community is taken care of, then I can actually help somebody else's oppression because I can help them in an abundance. But I can't help you when I'm still oppressed.
Right.
I can't help you.
Right.
And it's not my job to. Because black folks been oppressed forever and nobody trying to fix that.
Nope.
Every time you look up, black folks getting sabotaged and everything else. So no, we worry about the oppression of black folk. That's all I'm gonna focus on.
Right.
The oppression of black people globally. Right in America and also globally. That's it. Everybody else has to get it out the mud and do it how they gonna do it. But the Democrats have taken us for granted for the last time, in my opinion. Like I say, a Democrat can't get me to vote for them. You just can't. The only way I will vote for a Democrat, unless I know you personally and I know your work in the community, and I know you're not on that regular Democrat stuff, that's the only way I can vote for a Democrat. I have to know you personally. If I don't know you personally, if I don't know your work in the community and that sort of thing, I'm going to say 10 times out of 10, no. Nope, I will not vote for no Democrat. I'll sit it out before I vote for a Democrat. And just as a person Republican don't mean I'm going to vote for him either. Because I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. Right. I'm politically independent. So I don't have no ties to none of their political parties. Right. Ain't nobody giving me money nowhere. So I wouldn't want it because you don't give me money, then I got to advocate. No, I don't have to advocate for nothing. Right. If you're going to donate something over here, it's because you like it. Exactly. And I don't want nobody donating. I'd rather you join our African Diaspora News Channel app, download it from Google Play and the Apple App Store. Once you download it, just click a video or in the news section like that. It'll say sign in. They got a section that says create account, create your account, choose a membership, whether it's a month, quarterly, or yearly, and join us over there. We covering things that we're not talking about on this section. Because I'll tell you this. Things will start becoming reduced with time, the free stuff. So make sure you be over there so you can get everything. We, as people on these microphones, got to make sure we keep our ear to the street. Listen to this. Know what the temperature is. Look out what the politicians are doing. What is their record before we throw our weight behind anybody? And we don't throw our weight behind a person. We throw our weight behind policy. It's not about the person or personality. I don't care. This guy is racist. Let me tell you something. It don't matter if they're Democrat or Republican. They both racist. Right. I told you, as black people, we deal with racism in every aspect of this country. Right. We're going to deal with racism. But the key is not about the racism. Look, I can deal with racism. I got plenty of fun. The issue is I need to get what I need to get out of whoever it is to bring that bag home. That's what I got to get. However, policy is going to benefit my community. I got to deal with that, right? That part. Charlamagne is out here saying that Trump has a better message. He's out here saying Trump has no problem getting in people's face. He has no problem going in on people. He keeps saying Biden too soft. Biden don't say nothing. Biden didn't want everybody to be so moral. He ended up saying in that article that he don't need the politicians to be moral. He needs them to get something done. And that's really what everybody wants. Everybody wants their particular politician to get things done. Yep. That's it. Once again, I'll go back to when Trump came in. Trump came in first day. He already doing some executive orders, whatever. Everybody like, what? Yep. The first day, but Obama, I can't do this. Republicans blocking me. Republicans blocking me. Yeah, he kept complaining all the time.
Yeah.
Republicans blocking him. Then the first day Trump got in office, he started doing something. You know what I'm saying? So this is the thing. The Democrats are not dedicated to doing anything for black people.
Nope.
And that's what I need my black people to understand. They're not dedicated to you. You've been dedicated to the Democrat Party for over half a century, and they have not done nothing for you. Listen to what they even talk about to this day. Voting rights. Oh, we need voting rights. Black people already have voting rights. Who you talking about? I know who you're talking about. You're talking about those new Americans you want to come in here, right? All the migrants. You want to use us and our ancestors and the blood spilled by our ancestors to piggyback in what we have going on so they can be extended voting rights. Understand? Yeah. So you always try to use us to funnel resources and right everybody else. Yeah. You get that to every single whether it's LGBT, feminist, whatever. Yeah. You always try to use our struggle, and my issue is this with these groups of people. Go fight your own battles, and you deal with the struggle on your own. Leave us out of it. Exactly. Because you know what? We need our best and brightest in our community. Just like the story you seen with at Harvard, but Dr. Claudine Gay and how they got her out of there, right? Our best and brightest need to stop going to these PWI institutions, whether they elite or not. They need to be educating at HBCUs, right? And using our best and brightest at our institutions. And notice even with that, Democrats, y'all didn't even come and defend that woman. No. Where was all those women groups that defend women? Where were the feminists defending Dr. Claudine Gay? At all. That's why I tell black women, you can't join these little groups with your so-called white sisters is because they're not going to defend you. They're always going to stand up and defend white supremacy. Whether they defend it openly or they're silent sometimes. They're more silent when you're being attacked. But when something's going on with them, they want you to do a women's march. You understand? Charlamagne and his voters' remorse and also his embarrassment, because Charlamagne is embarrassed. He's embarrassed that he has to deal with this, so he's going to attack. Embarrassed. And the problem with Democrats, you have to understand, you got to be careful who you're attacking, because someone that has the gift of gab, someone that has the ability to talk to people and convince people certain things, you don't want them to be your enemy. You want to be friends with them. And I know you think Boulay Martin has a gift of gab. Nobody listening to him. Democrats, have you actually went to his comment section and seen how people are going in on him for refusing to speak about the migrants in Chicago? Have you seen that, Democrats? Y'all waste money on people that y'all shouldn't be wasting money on. Right. If y'all actually would be honest and do the right thing for black folk, you ain't got to go spend no money like that. Right. Then they got a new show I just saw coming out, new podcast with Andrew Gillum. Oh my God. Andrew Gillum. You remember his situation with all the bussy stuff. Andrew Gillum, Angela Rye, and Tiffany Cross. They all getting together to do a podcast that's supposed to be coming out. I said, oh God, really? I said, this is what we doing. So I guess they're gonna get y'all told about voting for Democrat. Try to convince you to vote for Democrat. I was wondering why come back out there, but it's just so interesting is that these people, if you are talented, why do you need to always go through the folks to have a platform? Right. You can't create one on your own. It ain't no way. Right. I was on MSNBC for at least a good year, and they kicked me out of there. That I couldn't go start my own stuff right then and there. Right. Hell, I would have had it going. It wasn't in my contract. I would have had it going the whole time. Right. People already know you. Go ahead and start your platform. But what I realized, some people can't do this. Like it's easy. Some people think it's easy just to talk, but they can't do the behind the scenes stuff it takes to build a platform. There's more work behind the scenes than it is right here. Beyond which, there's a lot. And some people, what I've experienced over the years, some people aren't dedicated enough. They need the system to do it, right? They don't want to worry about editing. They don't want to worry about thumbnails. They don't worry about uploads and learning policies of platforms or even creating their own platforms, their own apps. And they don't want to have editors and graphic design and business management and dealing with CPA, the company, and dealing with, the new beneficial ownership report that you better make sure you filled out if you got an LLC. They don't want to deal with all those issues and problems. They just want to show up to work and collect a check. And that's okay. That's actually okay. Because, listen, I understand everybody can't be an entrepreneur. I get that. Some people do better just doing the work, and that's great. We need that. But I guess I look at it from a different aspect. I guess Tiffany just want to collect the check. But in this day and time, we live in a day and time that we can create our own checks. Yeah. So why do you want to beg the people? I don't know. I just can't relate to that. Because the folks have never gave me nothing on the lane. They never gave me no platform, none of that. I had to get it out the mud. Y'all know I started my doggone bathroom. Who been following me? I was doing videos in front of a shower curtain.
Yeah, he was.
Y'all know that. Who been following me all the way since back then? In front of a doggone shower curtain.
Yep.
And I went from the shower curtain to where I'm at today, and we're going to go even further as the time go ahead. We are.
That's right, Uncle Phil.
Hey, look at the work we put in Front Line Blacc News and Shabaka's Black Experience.
I'm going to keep grinding when nobody was watching. I'm gonna go through all the ups and downs I went through over the years and the drama and all the different things I went through over the years. I'm gonna go through that. And let me tell you something. There are people today that when I started and all the drama and all that stuff, they ain't nowhere to be found today. Nowhere. Bill, he's still standing.
Yeah.
Because I learned certain things with principles that I can apply, and these other people, where they seemed so hot at one point in time, they went away. You got to learn how to engage staying power, but the thing is, you have to be authentic with yourself and have your ear with the people. That's really what it is. And don't be doing gimmicky things.
We've been doing that.
The Democrats, what they think is that they're gonna have black folks forever. Like I said, that older generation. I talked about this earlier today on the live stream on African diaspora. The silent generation and the baby boomers, they got them on lock. But the Gen X, millennial, Gen Z is their problem.
Yep.
That's their problem.
Yep.
And every election cycle, they're losing more and more voters with the silent generation and the baby boomer. They're losing voters, and they're not being replaced. So the Democrats, they're going to have to eventually deal with black folks and deal with these issues and problems. But this new black have no problem going to Trump or sitting it out. They just don't have no problem. Now, we still got some black folks we got to work with. They still in their emotions and stuff like that. Like I said, I have to even take patience with that because I have to remember I'm messing with their upbringing. I'm messing with them to the core when I talk against Democrats. I mean, talking about Democrats, I'm only talking about one of their children. You know what I'm saying? So I got to be patient with them. But I'm seeing more and more people waking up, right? And like I told y'all, this election cycle that's going on, I'm going to watch and I'm going to pay attention. I'm going to pay attention to how black folk move, how we vote, whatever. But just the temperature that I'm seeing is that the Democrats, the only way they'll win, from how I'm looking at it, they either have to give cash payment reparations. That'll be the only way they can win. Cash payment reparations. They'll have to give an anti-black hate crime bill. That'll be the only way they can win. Probably would have to get rid of qualified immunity for the race soldiers. That's probably possibly could win. Doing some big stimulus checks. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of things they could do, but they're not going to do. Because the Democrats don't want the police to lose qualified immunity. They don't want that. Because the police is the foot soldiers of white supremacy. They can't call them to handle black folks. They in trouble. They in big time trouble. Biden is giving more money to the police. Remember he said, we're going to fund them and fund them and fund them and fund them. Like he said, that's how Biden feels. And y'all went out there and vote for that guy that's talking about funding the police.
Yeah.
They get more funding than anybody else. They have a lot of funding outside the military.
Yep.
They got money.
Yeah, they do.
They funded them to lock folks up, basically.
Yeah.
But the Democrats got a long road ahead that's coming up. long road ahead.
And we're so
the election, they say is in about 300 days already. Trust me, them days gone.
Yep.
They gonna go quick. Look how fast 2023 went, y'all. Look how fast it was. The election gonna come up, and like I said, I'm ready. I want to see. You know, let me tell y'all what I want to see. I want to see definitely the Democrats lose, but I want to see. Trust me, I'm gonna run to that program when the Democrats lose.
Yeah.
I want to see that program on Boulay Martin.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Oh, I want to see his face. Yeah. Oh, that's the guy I want to see. Oh boy, I would get a kick. I'm pretty sure I'll get cussed out that night. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty because
Jeff already blocked
he been cussing me every which way.
Yeah.
Because I'm on the Democrats, and I'll be circling back to him too, because you know. And I was gonna mess with him, but I said, you know what? Let me leave him alone because I don't want to send Boulay Martin and give him some you know, a stroke or something. I don't want to do that. So I'm gonna let him make it. I'm gonna stick to the Democrats. But all that Democrat shilling, that industry's done.
It's done.
In 2024, it's done.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
Democrat shilling is done.
It's a wrap.
That you can't do that no more.
Nope.
It don't work.
Nope.
You can't shame us no more.
Nope.
Don't work.
Don't work.
Can't use our ancestors. They
Don't
not here
work.
no more. You can't. What you gonna say? You know what I'm saying? I got my voting rights. What you gonna talk about?
Right.
You can't use that on me. About they died. I got my voting rights.
Right.
Now we need to finish the job of the ancestors and get our reparations. That's what we need to do. We need to finish the job.
That's right, Uncle Phil.
I'm not trying to live off of past wins. I want future wins. I want wins today.
Yeah.
That way my kids look at, you know, hey, during my dad's time, they did this. Now, you know, in my time, we gonna do this.
Yeah.
Don't be sitting up here trying to live off of the past.
Right.
No, it's great, the victories that we've had, but we got current victories to finish. The job isn't finished.
Right.
It is not finished. We haven't got reparations.
Nope.
We don't have an anti-Black hate crime bill. And in the midst of that anti-Black hate crime bill, anti-Black racism need to be condemned.
Right.
So like they condemn anti-Semitism, we need it condemned.
Yeah.
We need all industries audited to see how they treat Black folk, especially the banks and the hospitals. It's not a coincidence that only in Western countries or white-ran countries, Black women die at high rates during childbirth. In Western countries only. Outside of that, we don't have that problem.
Right.
And we know it's because of racism and white supremacy. I just read a horrible comment on TikTok earlier that, boy, I was like, wow. This one sister said that a white doctor told her while she was going under for a C-section, he whispered in her ear, I'm going to make sure you don't have no more children. And she wasn't going there for nothing like that. That's why we have these issues and problems with Black women. That's why I always tell Black folks, find your Black doctor, find your Black gynecologist, find them. Find them.
Whatever build our own institution.
If your wife
everything this man is saying is what we're echoing. That's why we got to build our own institution.
Have a baby with a good Black doctor do that, because man, we don't trust these people, man.
Right.
Man, that comment
And
ran.
they're not to be trusted.
No, they're not.
Jesus, that's sinister. And once again, the Democrats don't do nothing about it either.
Nothing.
And Black people live in a lot of these Democrat-run cities.
Yep. Like
So there you go. Democrats do nothing. Nothing whatsoever but lip service.
That's all.
But let me know what y'all think, you know, about Charlamagne up here and you know, now he's on the Democrats behind and all of that. And like I said, that's good, but you should never advocated for Biden in the first place, Charlamagne. You should have never did that, brother. You should never did that. Now you gotta eat cake.
Yep. That's right. Everything, you know, that man said right there is correct. You see what I'm saying? And this is why we got to have the reparations. You see what I'm saying? This is why for our viewers out there, please donate to us if you can. You see what I mean? It's because, you know, we put 10 years worth of work off into this project we got going on.
Ladies and gentlemen, is the final podcast.
Sorry, Sparky. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, and you know, we're doing the same thing right here. You know, we came from the basement. You know, we came from doing our videos off in the street there in Panther Town. You know, we came from Defensory Park. You see what I'm saying? We inspired by the 50th anniversary of the Black Panther Party. And Shabaka's Black Experience Enhances a division of Front Line Blacc News. So we out here scuffling too. So hey, so please hit that donation down there, folks. You know what I'm saying? Inbox us. Yeah. And then also too, folks, inbox us on our like page of Shabaka's Black Experience Enhancer and see what you'd like to be talked about. Inbox us, you know, if you want to come on our platform. You see what I'm saying? It's because we're reaching out, we expanded. You know, we got our haters out there, and that only means that we're doing something right.
Yeah, we just gathered some more haters. And we're gonna
Yeah, exactly. And later for clowns like Roly Poly Martin, you know. And the cool part about it is Roly Poly, he's been around, what's that, going on 40 years now?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. And then Sister Soldier, if you're out there, ma'am, and if you hear us, please get with us, man, because we would love to have you on this platform, Sister Soldier. And I'm so sorry, ma'am, that I missed you in Oakland a few years ago, because I was in Oakland and I got the date wrong of where she was doing her book signing.
She said in 1991 is still relevant in 2024.
Oh, yes, sir. And then, of course, just like when she did the last episode of A Different World, where she was saying is to Jasmine Guy, is that they don't care about us.
No, they don't.
And then she also said is that she also had emphasized too of how the black woman was used as the bed wenches. Also, she used the term as bed warmers. You see what I mean? So all this here is part of the ma'afa of Dr. Marimba Ani had talked about. You know what I'm saying? You know, as the recent controversy that went on over here with us. We're still gonna keep it strong. You see what I'm saying? We're gonna have our haters. And if you don't say what now?
They ain't stopping shit over here.
No, none whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? And then after I transition, you know, hey, for the next generations to keep it going on. Just like how you saw on that old TV series called Star Trek. What did NBC do years later? They had Star Trek, the next generations. You see what I'm saying? I'm just using that there as an example. You know, and in Hollywood, we're still gonna keep it up in your face. We know you're a multi-billion-dollar, trillion-dollar institution, but we don't dig the way that you project the imagery of our people. We don't dig the way that you sit up there and project division amongst our people. Because as it was said many years ago, they are in fear of a black planet.
That's it.
So it's up to us. Yeah, and it's up to us, black man and woman, you know what I'm saying? And those, you know, and I do know we got controversy going on. People don't want to refer to as black. I'm talking about our people who is from that continent that's right below Europe and that is directly east of South America. I'm talking about that continent. You see what I'm saying? So hopefully that will be quote unquote all inclusive with us. Okay, now just like with Tariq Nasheed on his show, one of his recent shows where he's talking about this Australian and saying that they run everything, and Tariq Nasheed pretty much had put it down there how much that you all stole, plundered, and pilfered. You see what I mean?
Everywhere they go,
you guys are black racist. We understand and all that. No, all that is drag. You see what I'm saying?
There's no reasoning with these savages. There's no reason.
No, sir, it's not. That's why we got to build our own infrastructures, Brother Che. You know what I'm saying? My generation's on the way out, just like what Dr. Phil said right here, man. So the only thing I could do at this time.
There's no negotiating with these barbarians.
No, sir. And then on top of it, and then and the quote Mad Dr. D that he had stated years ago, and we did an episode on that. We got to focus on black family and what we do to each other.
Yeah, we got to internalize self-hatred, Shabaka. We got to
all that.
Deal with that. But that will come with reparations, all of that. I mean, it's not gonna cure every damn thing, but it's a freaking start. But
yes, sir. It's a start in the right direction. And then we gotta have.
I hope you have all kinds of egg and cake all over your face. You should have known not to support the goddamn Jim Crow, Sleepy Joe Biden. We tried to warn you on the previous platform that we were on prior to Frontline Black News, and that was the Mile High News, that hiding Biden was bad news, and we should not support it. But many Democratic shills kept telling us anybody but Trump, and we just can't have 4 more years of Trump. And Trump, we can't have Trump. Trump got to go. Anybody but Trump. All you fools, because y'all look very stupid right now. All of you. You all, I hope you have egg and cake all over your face.
Yeah,
and,
most definitely.
I hope you become a thorn in the Democrat side and wake the fuck up and vote for something tangible. That's what we've been doing for over 4 years now. So, so when the Democrats lose in November, I don't want to hear, oh, I can't believe this, or I didn't nobody warn me about this. You were warned, just like you were warned in 2020. Warned in 2024.
Yeah.
Now or never.
And Lady Chase says right here in the chat, she says she loves how he regrets Biden and how he won't be voting again for them, laughing out loud. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, and
Biden voter remorse. But we tried to warn you.
Yeah. All of them do. All of them do. And then,
no. It's all evil at the end of the day.
Yeah, and then keep in mind of how Biden had manipulated black folks to go up there and endorse that federal crime bill, you know what I'm saying, when he was in the Senate.
Yeah, we talked about that on radio. Shout out to the Outlaws, Kevin Barnes and crew.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Yeah, we definitely got to give a shout out there to the Outlaws there. We appreciate the work that they do and what have you, to the Negro Whisperer, to the Witch Doctor, you know, the whole staff over there, Sister Courtney. And also to there to
and also Sean too. Can't forget Sean.
And then also to who Mr. Barnes is always mentioning, Mama Jenkins. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, definitely a shout out there to her. And then also to we hope our neighbors there in Milwaukee, in Chicago, Buffalo, and what have you. We hope and pray for our unhoused neighbors there. You know what I'm saying? Is because they're up in the Great Lakes region. That weather is severe. It is cold. You know what I'm saying? And what have you. We pray for our unhoused neighbors there in the Mile High Income City, because you guys are getting ready to go through it. We pray for unhoused neighbors out there in Los Angeles, is because Karen Bass is pulling some more shit. And being a West Coast correspondent, you know, I'm going to be, you know, doing a story up on that, you know, the next time that we don't Frontline or Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced.
Well, we'll be doing a part 2, best believe it, or believe it.
Oh, yes, sir, most definitely. You know, and then too, now
so
we're getting ready to
talk about it, because it's already after midnight where you at.
Yes, sir.
We need to get to the next topic, and that is nearly 300,000 migrants, illegal immigrants, illegal aliens have entered the United States last month, meaning December.
300,000. So you got 300,000 of these motherfuckers coming in here, man. Do you know that's a larger population than some states?
Yes.
That's more than the state population of Montana. That's more than the state population of fucking Hawaii. You see what I'm saying?
Invasion.
That's exactly what it is.
Y'all that voted for hiding Biden and Harris, y'all did this. So now we have a full-blown invasion.
Yeah.
And
Biden, you can best believe
y'all president, because y'all voted for him. We didn't vote for either one of them clowns, but y'all President Biden wants Texas to remove the barbed wire on the border.
Yeah, I was just researching that, you know, and I put it up there in the chat.
Before Shabaka, Mr. Sandman creeps in on Shabaka.
Yeah, Mr. Sandman. Yeah, he's trying to step toward me a little bit, so I'm trying to duck a couple of his blows. You know what I'm saying? And we're coming to you here from Sin City here, ladies and gentlemen.
Recordings just.
I gotta put the copyright back up.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay, I'm good.
Well, so now the podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Are there any more comments, Shabaka?
No, it just says, Lady Chair says, I love how he regrets Biden and how we won't be voting again for them. LOL.
Okay.
And we appreciate all our viewers and all our supporters, and also, too, we appreciate our haters, too.
One more. There is one more. I know there was another comment.
Okay, for reparations and tangibles.
Laugh out loud, trouble with the God. Yeah,
old Charlamagne. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Tomato. Yep.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, is all this here is just proves that we've got to have our cohesiveness and we got to have the tangibles, you know. And also too, Dr. Umar Johnson, we're reaching out there to you again. And what have you. Now, for those of you that charge for your appearances, what we're willing to do is because, see, we've been around too, and we're trying to come up, but what we'll do for your appearance, we'll allow you to advertise, you know, for whatever projects that you got going on. And at this point, that's the best compromise that we can make, you see, because we put a lot of sweat equity into what we're doing. We put a lot of pain off into what we're doing. We put a lot of sacrifice off into what we're doing. We get shadow banned on the regular. And the reason why we get shadow banned on the regular is because we are still going to continue to talk against the popular version of what is truth. And this is why we created the hashtag resurrection of the mental dead. It ain't nothing derogatory. There is no hatred right here, but we have a right to survive. We have a right to exist, and we have a right to our self-determination too. Now, you got all these fucking migrants coming in here, 300,000 of these motherfuckers. Yeah, a full-blown invasion. And don't you know, is that if you go up there and cross the border illegally in other countries, they had a military there and shoot your ass.
Dead on sight, dead on arrival. Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Not in the United States of America.
Yeah, you see? Oh, yeah, you know, everybody come live the American dream. And what you people out there call the American dream, we as African peoples, man, see the American nightmare.
Yeah, it was a nightmare. And King realized that it was a nightmare, but it was too late. So we're going to give the update about this invasion and the fact that Biden, Sleepy Joe Biden, wants Texas to remove the barbed wire fence.
And then also too, from what I understand too, Brother Che, research that we done is that Texas is trying to become its own country.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now we ain't mad at the great state of Texas, just like old Cruz right there, old Disneyland Cruz. What did he get up there and say as he went up there and popped him a beer? Everybody can kiss his ass, and you ain't seen him since.
Nope.
I ain't mad at Ted Cruz.
I'm not
when that motherfucker sat up there, and when that motherfucker sat up there and he filibustered for 22 and a half hours talking about Disneyland and Mickey Mouse and all that, and they stood there and they went for that bullshit. And we supposed to be up there, just be some happy-go-lucky coons. Oh, yeah, that's you the bow. You talking about bullshit.
Yeah, like that councilwoman was for the panties in Jacksonville after the mass shooting.
Yeah, exactly. And then the panties, you know what I'm saying? And the shit that he's talking and looking at him.
To die. Yeah.
Yeah. And then keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, and here's what they're going to do. Okay. And let me see. And I think I got $20 to put up there. Okay. What they're going to do is that you could best believe, as sure as shit stinks, is that they're going to pick the dump as their presidential candidate. And it's going to be the panties up there as the vice president.
Oh, you think it's going to keep the panties? Okay.
Yeah. The dump is going to get the Republican nomination by hook or crook. He's going to get it. Okay, that's a gift.
But you're saying that he's pick up the panties as his running mate, opposed to Nikki Haley, or
he ain't going to pick up Nikki Haley. He's going to pick up the panties.
Not bad salami.
That man, Rami Salami is a joke, man. Okay. That motherfucker is a joke, and I think that rascal man has only got like about 7% approval rating or something like that. So what it's gonna do, people, mark my words, it sure as shit stinks. Okay, all right, is that it's gonna be the dump, and we want to make that perfectly clear, as in human shit, and we want to make that perfectly clear. Right. And then it's going to be DeSantis as his vice president. Now, 4 years from now, ladies and gentlemen, when the shit really hits the fan and my ass be probably decrepit or blind or whatever, or probably have to wear diapers and all that shit, getting up in age and all that shit, I'm gonna sit there and laugh at you motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying, on my way out. That's what I'm gonna do. I don't want to see that shit happen, but what we're doing, Black family, what we're doing to each other is redundant. It is ridiculous. It is counterproductive.
Yep.
You see? But however, it is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. And those are my closing comments from Las Vegas, Nevada, Brother Jay.
You tapping out, Shabaka?
Yeah, man.
Okay. We were going to bid Shabaka good night from the Mile High Anthem. You already know
yes, sir.
Shabaka.
Yes, sir. All right, Brother Jay, I'll give you a call at sunrise, man.
Okay.
All right. No. And thanks for having me. Okay.
Yep. All right. Well, thank y'all for staying up late with us. Good night to our West Coast correspondent, Shabaka Sankori. If y'all haven't done so already, make sure y'all check out Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced on Facebook and on Twitter, now X. It's Shabaka EXP. And make sure you check us out every Tuesday for Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced on Blog Talk Radio. We've been going strong for 8 years now. Shout out to Mad Dr. D and everybody else that has come along the way, including our East Coast correspondent, Isaiah Bowers, and Lady Che, our co-host. So, and co-executive producer. So moving right along, Black family, we still have some topics to get to, so I'm going to try to get us through them. So getting back to this migration, otherwise known as an invasion.
We got to talk about, once again, this migrant crisis. You had the Brandon Johnson on Face the Nation, and also the mayor of Denver, Colorado. You want to listen to what they have to say. And also, Biden is doing something that lets you know that he has been paid by somebody for this migrant crisis that was created underneath his administration. Well, before we get into the first clip, I want to talk about something real quick that was brought to my attention. Sister Demetria had pointed a video out to me on Boulay Martin's platform, and it's not the video itself, it was the comment section. Boy, y'all was eating Boulay Martin's lunch in that comment section about the migrant crisis. Good. The overall arching theme of the comments was, why aren't you talking about the migrant crisis? It's affecting Black people. You're supposed to be speaking about Black people, and you won't even touch the issue. And that's basically the gist of it. People saying, oh, we all know now you're just a paid Democrat. Like, people was going in on Boulay Martin. I mean, I was like, wow, I ain't seen that on his page before, because I don't really fool with Boulay Martin unless either somebody point out a video, because, you know, I'm doing my own thing. But, you know, all thing I need to say is that was a perfect thing y'all did. And continue to eat his lunch when he's going spewing all these Democrat talking points. Because I think the video, he was, oh, Trump, 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 Trump. No, the migrants. Now, Brandon Johnson went on Face the Nation, and he was addressing the migrant crisis once again. But he will not, and even the mayor of Denver, who's even worse than Brandon Johnson, actually, he's worse.
We need to recall
than Brandon
his
Johnson.
ass black family.
I want you to hear this clip of these two mayors. And it's just utterly ridiculous for people that live in Denver and also people who live in Chicago. Let's go ahead and roll that.
What we have is clearly an international and federal crisis that local governments are being asked to subsidize. And this is unsustainable. None of our local economies are positioned to be able to carry on such a mission. And what we have attempted to do is to create structure and some coordination around this humanitarian crisis. And unfortunately, the governor of Texas, Governor Abbott, is determined to continue to sow seeds of chaos. And last night and several nights before, a number of buses continue to arrive in the city of Chicago throughout the country without any coordination. And now he's taken on this very dangerous task of placing individuals on airplanes and flying them into our various cities. This is certainly a matter of not just of our national security, but it's the type of chaos that this governor is committed to administering.
Mr. Mayor of Denver, to be clear here, I know that you have looked at New York and Chicago making decisions to restrict bus arrivals. Are you trying to take measures in your city to restrict them from even arriving in the first place?
No, all we want is a system that is humanitarian for both the new folks that are arriving and for our cities and our city employees. And so we understand there will be an inflow. We have already had 35,000 migrants arrive to Denver. We've successfully helped them integrate into the country here. What we don't want is people arriving at 2 o'clock in the morning at a city and county building with women and children outside in 10-degree weather and no support. And so we want buses here to do what every other bus does, which is land at a bus station and a bus stop and hours when we can have staff there to receive them and to direct them towards services. And so we understand the flow is coming. We just want it to be coordinated and in a humanitarian way, which we think makes it effective for the city and for those newcomers.
The first part of that clip, what Brandon Johnson said was actually 100% accurate. It is a federal issue that's created by Biden. And Brandon Johnson's right. The cities aren't built and they don't have the money to be taking on Biden's migrant crisis that he created. Now, the mayor of Denver, Mike Johnston, those of you who are in Denver, we got brothers and sisters that live in Denver, or anybody else outside of the black community who live in Denver, your mayor is actually way worse than Brandon Johnson could ever be. I'm going to say that. He is straight up want them to come. You know what? I would say, Governor Greg Abbott, if you see this podcast, give a pause to Chicago and New York and start sending everybody to Denver because he wants them. Everything that man just said is he wants them there. He said that he just wants an appropriate time for them to show up. So send all the buses you can to Denver, Governor Abbott, and send the planes. Go ahead on and start giving Denver what they're asking for. Since they don't want to get rid of sanctuary cities, just like Chicago, just like New York, you complain about the problem, but you won't give a solution that you can do as a mayor of saying, you know what, as of this day forward, we are not a sanctuary city no more. We are not going to sit up here and try to hide people. Nope. So if you come here, understand, you're on your own. The Democrats are keep pushing this immigration issue to, in which I believe now, and I have been thinking about this, they got to be getting paid on the back end by these corporations. They got to through little channels where they getting cash off the books, or maybe look, give me so much money in campaign donations next time so it look good, right? Give me so much campaign donation because all these migrants that's coming and the way it's happened, it's unreal. It is totally unreal, and the citizens of this country is suffering and Biden does not care. The Democrat Party does not care. But you or me supposed to go out and vote for the Democrats in November? Look at what's happening. They don't have no security on the southern border at all. It is a free-for-all at the southern border. It's a free-for-all. On top of Biden creating these issues in the city, on top of that, on top of the resources being taken away from the taxpayers in this country, I want to show you this clip right here is going to let you know, this is why I come to this conclusion, it's going to let you know that no, Biden want to let these people in here because he getting some sort of kickback or something. Let's go ahead and roll this clip.
What about the courts here, though, Julia, for a minute? Because the White House wants the Supreme Court to step in after an appeals court blocked the administration from actually removing razor wire at the border in Texas. Where does that particular case stand?
Yeah, that's right. This has to do with razor wire, incredibly sharp barbed wire that Texas state government had their patrol, their state troopers put along the Rio Grande to keep migrants from coming across. And Border Patrol thought it was so dangerous that in a lot of cases they had to cut it because of injuries you see like that, people getting hurt on the wire, some people being kept out in dangerous flood waters, risking their lives in the Rio Grande. So they went through and started removing this. Texas sued. Now it's going all the way up to the Supreme Court because the Biden administration wants the Supreme Court to tell the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals that in fact they do have the right to remove that razor wire. In the meantime, we expect the arguments in the Court of Appeals to come forward in early February, and it might be that the Supreme Court waits for that to go on to have a ruling in the Fifth Circuit based on those arguments rather than weigh in now. But it seems inevitable the Supreme Court will have to weigh in on this issue and many other legal battles between the Biden administration and Texas.
As you heard, and you clearly seen on the lower third, they had 300,000 migrants come through the southern border. 300,000. You have cities in America that don't even have 300,000. That's considered a large city, that many people coming through. Now, Texas is trying to do what it can do to slow them down, putting up a bunch of razor wire. And as you saw in that clip, these men are climbing underneath it, doing everything they can. Women, they put their children through this just to come over here. As I said before, if I was one of their women, I would not even want to be with those men. Because you're not providing anything in your homeland and you got these women going through razor wire. What kind of men are you? Sorry, what kind of men are you? You should be standing and fighting, and not everybody's trying to run from their country in Latin America. The majority of people in Latin America are in their country right now. They're working, they're building their country. They're not trying to run. That's why at this stage in the game, we don't respect that. We don't have no sympathy for that because you got people in their homeland right now, wherever they come from, are standing, fighting, building, doing whatever they can do for their children. And it's nothing but respect for me for those people, wherever they come from, Latin America, if they coming from China, trying to come over here gaming the system, even if they coming through the continent, right? Because some of them are trying to game the system too. Some of them. Now, the only people that I said in my mind should have been able to come over here was the Haitians. Why? Their president was assassinated and the country went into chaos, utter chaos. The Haitians had every right, in my opinion, to come over here. But the moment the Haitians came over here, oh, they really pounced on it. And them doggone Democrats at the time, look, black people, look how racist they are. Right? But why aren't you talking about so-called racism now? You ain't even bringing up racism. Governor Abbott had installed razor wire at the border and put buoys in the Rio Grande to stop these people from trying to come over. Biden to try to go to the Supreme Court and want the Supreme Court to tell Texas, this is what he wants, for them to remove the barbed wire away from the border of Texas so they can come in easily. Listen, that move right there, and also the other move about the SB 4 law that's coming to Texas in March, that they can arrest you if you're in the country illegally. He says if that goes to become law, which is already signed, then the DOJ is going to sue Greg Abbott in Texas over that law. If that don't let you know by the moves he's making that he can't play dumb no more and say, well, it's just a problem, I don't know. He can't play dumb. At this point, this is being a coordinated effort. You're trying to obstruct everything that Greg Abbott is trying to do to protect Texas because he's on his own. The taxpayers in Texas don't want to pay for people like that. We don't have that kind of money like that. We don't have unlimited resources. In Texas, we aren't people who make trillions of dollars a year or something. And so we got all this unlimited money in Texas. And even if we had it, they supposed to be in their homeland fighting and do whatever they got to do. So those of you in Chicago who's very upset about the migrants coming up there through Operation Lone Star, the reason why that's happening is because what Biden is doing, what he's not doing, and what he's trying to do, which is make sure to remove any barriers for them to come over here. I'm telling y'all, that is a plan, and he got to be getting paid. You heard all the money that was getting deposited in accounts from Ukraine and China and all that when they were doing the investigation to him and his son, right? And that wasn't a news story, but why he was getting all these payments. I firmly believe all that money was sent to Ukraine, because they do dirt like that. They siphon off a little money for themselves too, because there was no oversight with all this money going to Ukraine. But they're locking people up right now. They got a $10,000 PPP loan though. They'll lock them up, but you're not doing nothing with Zelensky over there and all that money. He was giving all this money, and then it was reported this dude that went and bought a brand new house in Florida and got some, I think some yacht or something he didn't recently got. I know how he got it. He didn't get it because he worked hard. No, it's all the money that Biden has been giving him. But yet, we can't get reparations though. We can't get anything. The American citizens, you want to give money to start taxing American citizens more. But this guy was getting all this free money, and he kept coming over here getting a free check up until recently. Because a lot of American citizens say, hold on, man. Hold on, bruh. Like, this is too much. This is way too much. American citizens are suffering in this country, and this dude keep getting a check, and we not getting it? If the Democrats are smart enough, they would actually do a stimulus to keep people quiet, but they're not doing that. They're not doing that at all. Because all any stimulus money was going to the migrants. So the Democrats, as I read to you and showed you on their website, it is their plan to bring everybody they can in during the 4 years of Biden. It's their plan to try to make them citizens quickly as possible. You understand? And Biden could actually do it because he don't need Congress to make them citizens. He really don't. He just needs to craft a program. The only reason he haven't done it yet is because it will be a major backlash if he do it. Yep. So that's the only thing that's kind of slowed him down, in my opinion. But Biden, how are you going to go vote for him in 2024? How? How are you going to go vote for a man that's literally for taking all the resources away from the citizens of the country? And then on top of that, in New York, Mayor Eric Adams had made a tent city for him, have TV in there, couches, beds, they not on the floor, right? They don't want to be there. They want to be in the hotels. That's where they want to be. In the hotels, they tearing it up, ruining those hotels. New York has become a cesspool, an utter cesspool. And I got a lot of great brothers and sisters in New York. Y'all always, New York and Atlanta is the two cities I can always say I get a lot of love out of those two cities, New York and Atlanta. And I definitely was treated well in Chicago as well. Brothers and sisters in those cities don't deserve that. They don't get the resources they need. Black Americans are homeless in those cities. But yet, the mayors won't end sanctuary city status. Y'all have to realize that it is extremely dangerous at this point to have a sanctuary city status. Yeah. The citizens gonna have to get to the point of y'all recalling mayors. That's right. And y'all recalling mayors because they're not working for you. They're working for a party, they're working for an agenda. They're not working for you. And because they're not working for you, they need to go. Y'all got to look into recalling your mayors. Eric Adams, he needs to be recalled. Brandon Johnson, he needs to be recalled. And if y'all in Denver were smart, y'all recall Mike Johnston too.
That's right.
Because he's basically welcoming them to keep coming in and taking your tax dollars. And see, it's all good and dandy at first. But when you start getting overwhelmed with hundreds of people a day and it turns into thousands, then you're going to have a complaint in Denver. You're going to have a big complaint. And I'm going to tell you what, the folks in Denver are not going to really like all that. They like way of life in Denver and all of that. That's all that's going to change.
Yeah.
And all that is because of Joe Biden, on top of what he's doing across the seas, that's possibly going to get America in a war. Because of all that situation with Israel, Hamas, and Yemen has, blocked access for them for that shipping route they like to go through, right? Now America and the UK is trying to go back and forth with them. Now Iran and kind of got back into the mix. They about to start something. And that's what, understand that. They want some sort of conflict, war, something. We are not in a position as a country to do a war. Because number one, we don't have enough unification in this country for war. Because most people in this country don't want war, number one. Number two, most people don't want to sign up for the armed services. They don't. They really don't. You know why? Because they don't really believe in this country like that. That's why they don't want to sign up. They're just being real. The military as a whole, say recruiting is really down. Now, what these elderly people in Congress are going to do eventually, y'all watch it. Remember, you heard it here first. They're going to do a draft. You mark my words, Democrats and Republicans will do a draft. And when they draft, it's going to be some crying then. Oh, y'all going to be wanting to know, how can I get my passport then? Oh, yes. You better believe I know you. Oh, no, I ain't fighting for these people. I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. Because you been created that problem. It wasn't something that just happened. You been create that problem over there. That's not America's business. We got enough problems right here in this country that we need to deal with. Not getting involved with other people's mess. Them geriatrics up there in Congress, they're gonna put up a doggone draft, and they're gonna be pulling your sons and daughters to go to the military. And for years I've been telling y'all, get your passport, get your passport. Since 2018, I've been preaching that message. And so many people attack me in the black community, attack me for saying it. Oh, well, why are you telling people that? We ain't going nowhere. And when they want to start drafting your kids, all of a sudden you're going to want to move around. Right? Because if you don't go to the draft, according to that law, you're going to go to jail for 5 years normally. And the average person don't want to go to jail for that. Because they're going to go. You see, you need to make sure that everybody in your family got a passport. Even if you don't use it, at least you got it. So if you have to move around, you can. Because either one or two things, either they do a draft, or the second thing they can do, or they may do, is all the military age males that's coming in here, they can tell them, hey, you go serve the military, we give you citizenship. This is the issue with that. You may say, oh, well, let them fight then. This is the problem. If they fled their homeland and they was not loyal to their homeland and they didn't go fight for their homeland, why would they be loyal to fight for this one? I wouldn't trust them, personally. I wouldn't trust them. Who's to say they get captured by the enemy? They had no problem telling everything because they have a history of running. I'm telling you, I don't see any of this ending well. Y'all go up here in November and y'all go and put Biden back in there. I don't want to hear it at that point. I really don't want to hear it. Because at that point, I'm going to say, hey, you wanted it, stop complaining. Go on and open up your house to the migrants. You do. 25. Because that's what you wanted. And we get to see if y'all serious or y'all just complaining. Because one thing a lot of American citizens do, you complain, but you don't want to fix a problem. You just want to complain. I know a lot of people not happy with Biden right now, but is that going to happen at the polls in November? That's the thing. They're trying all the boogeyman stuff. You know, Boulay Martin was trying all the Trump, the boogeyman. Nobody cares about no Trump. They keep saying that. 300,000 people came across the border. Those 300,000 people are coming to a city near you, Black America. And guess what? They're taking your resources. Resources really you never got. But the little bit that you are getting, they're taking, because you know they're going to take resources from the folks now. They're going to be the last one to lose a resource. You're going to be the first. Because they don't want to give you resources on a good day. So the Democrats are going to take your resources and give it to them. Like they tried in Chicago. They want to take your field house. They want to take your schools. They close the schools for you, but open it up for them. They don't want to get the Black homeless population off the street and put them in shelters. They'll make sure these people in shelters. Oh, yes, they're coming to a city near you. So keep voting Democrat and get ready for your new neighbors. Get ready, because the Biden administration is trying their best to try to make Texas take that razor wire down so your new neighbors can come next door to you. Your new neighbors could go to the school with you. Your new neighbors going to be at the grocery store with you. And you better start learning some Spanish. That's what you better start learning. Because Biden's trying to make sure to fix it that way. Listen, when I talk about the migrant crisis, the migrants are being used. They're being used. My issue really isn't the migrants themselves. When I talk about this issue, now I do have an issue when they commit crimes and getting arrogant. But my issue is more with the Democrat Party and Biden and these Democrat mayors who will not say, hey, this not going to last. We're not a sanctuary city. That's the issue and problem. That is right there. The Democrats is the problem. The migrants is only being used for corporations and an agenda. And that agenda has nothing to do with people that look like me and you or any other American citizen. So you better, once again, have your passport, make sure you're registered to vote, have your driving license and all that. You better. Because I'm telling you, you give Biden another 4 years, it's not going to end well.
Thank you, Uncle Phil. Yep. So, how it happened again, it's all on you. You've been warned. You've been warned for at least 4 years.
Well, so now on the podcast, ladies.
So the next one is Harvard President Sutherland resigns. And here's why. Shout out Professor Blacc too.
Family and fellow soldiers, I'm the professor, and this is the moment of truth. Claudine Gay is now the former president of Harvard. In a surprise turn of events, she handed in her resignation, but we all know that she basically jumped to avoid being pushed. Now, before this, Harvard was saying that she wasn't going anywhere, that they were going to let her keep her position, but apparently I can tell that some of that big donor money must have finally been talking. However, if the board at Harvard thought that simply tossing Gay overboard would calm the right-wing nuts down and get them off their backs, they were wrong. Bill Ackman, the billionaire anti-Black crusader I told you about in an earlier video about this subject, he is now demanding that Harvard's entire board has to resign too. Why? He says he doesn't like what he calls DEI policies. So we see that when dealing with these psychopathic racists, giving them a crumb only encourages them to threaten you more and demand everything else you have too. For the white right, this was never about Claudine Gay. She was simply a proxy for the real target. This was about their asinine jihad to force otherwise respectable educational institutions to become right-wing re-education camps. And trying to take over universities is also important because the white right has been trying and failing for decades now to establish its own prestigious universities to compete with the liberal colleges and universities. But these are all recognized for what they are, right-wing vanity projects. When Harvard or Yale puts out a study or a report, it's seen as having intellectual and academic legitimacy. On the other hand, when a Liberty University or a Hillsdale College puts out any sort of report, it's ignored, like it doesn't even exist. Now, the white right has a number of so-called think tanks like the Heritage Foundation, the Manhattan Institute, and others, but unless you're a Republican politician or a Fox News viewer, you've never even heard of them. And unless you're a right-wing nut, you don't place any weight on anything they say either. So the white right, having realized they lost the culture a long time ago, they're now trying to ban Black history books in school, have the state take over universities. They failed to earn any credibility on their own, so now they're trying to see if they can snatch someone else's. Claudine Gay's resignation is, of course, a firing, but this isn't the first time that someone's been accused of not punishing people for alleged hate speech on Harvard's campus. Marty Peretz was a professor at Harvard, but he then became editor-in-chief of the New Republic magazine, and he made it a point to attack Black people and Muslims frequently. In 2010, Harvard decided to give Peretz an undergraduate research fund in his name. So a man who they knew to be a mouth-frothing racist, and Harvard, in spite of all that, sets up a research fund for him and in his name. And when Harvard was asked to justify this decision, they simply said, he has a right to free speech. Say, does anyone remember how the president of Harvard was forced to resign after this scandal? Me neither. Gee, where was Bill Ackman at when this happened? Where was the right-wing hate spear at then? Oh, I'm sorry, the New Republic is part of the right-wing hate spear. Well, that explains why they were all quiet about it. So at long last, we finally have an answer to the age-old question, where does the white right think that free speech ends? When it's something they don't want to hear. Racist white professors, former professors, can say any racist tripe they want, but a Black president of Harvard has to be fired, not because she said something, but because angry people on the right say she didn't stop other people from saying things. And where are the Black feminists at to stick up for Claudine Gay? Well, they're probably busy watching a matinee showing of The Color Purple right now. Al Sharpton has crawled out from under Joe Scarborough's nether regions and offered a defense of Miss Gay. Isn't that something? Al Sharpton is sticking up for Claudine Gay, which is a hell of a lot more than Michelle Obama's done. Not a word from her. Though the right-wing nuts are claiming that Obama had been quietly lobbying for Gay to keep her job behind the scenes. He is a Harvard graduate himself, after all. But where's Oprah Winfrey at? Where's Agent Duvernay at? Where's Tarana Burke at? Eli Mistal, who was cursing and carrying on over Bill Cosby because Eli Mistal is just so eager to defend women. Well, here's a Black woman who a bunch of white racists began a smear campaign against, and Eli Mistal is all quiet. Where's all the phony feminists who were saying that they wanted to protect Black women? Where are they at? And look at who the white right gets to attack Sharpton. They get the infamous expert self-hating butt kisser Sage Steele. Will someone please tell this heifer that she's not getting a full-time media gig again, ever? The bootleg class of Black intellectuals are real quiet right now. All of these college-educated and Ivy League Negroes running around telling us all how smart they are and how it's crucial to challenge systemic racism. It doesn't get any more systemic than a political and media attack on a Black woman merely for having the same policy regarding non-Blacks as had applied to Black people. That was the real problem they had. They could care less about any claims of plagiarism. After all, these right-wing nuts can't even read. Because up until a couple of days ago, the white right was admitting that they had pretty much given up hope that they would find a way to get Claudine Gay to be forced out. Sure, you had Rupert Murdoch's little propaganda mills like the New York Post and others who have been attacking her nonstop, but it didn't seem to be working. The news cycle had long since moved on. So that begs the question, what happened suddenly that made Harvard instantly decide that they wanted to make her leave? Obviously, the timing plays into this. She's been gotten rid of at the beginning of the year. So what that tells me is they've probably been thinking already that they would just basically dump her as soon as the new year came. And you know it was those rich racist donors who were demanding this. They desperately wanted a trophy head on their wall, and they were determined they were going to catch this big black whale no matter what. This wasn't some popular uprising from Harvard students. This was AstroTurf by the same wealthy white supremacists who we've seen manufacturing those school board protests. They saw a Black person who didn't jump when they said jump, and that infuriated them, but worse, it made them scared. They definitely don't want something like that to become habit forming, so they've been desperately trying to reverse this L And they did it with the help of Harvard's board. Now, here's a question for you. If the board of Harvard had been black, better yet, if this was an HBCU that this had happened at, and there was a rich white donor who demanded that Claudine Gay be removed, do you truly think the outcome would have been any different? The black folks who you see on the boards of these white universities, they see themselves as social climbers just like the HBCUs. And speaking of which, HBCUs are ground zero for sellouts and bootlicks. They would have fired Claudine Gay at the first sign of controversy. She wouldn't even have made it this far if it was an HBCU that had been caught up in this firestorm. If Claudine Gay had been president of Morehouse or Spelman, she would have been gone right after that congressional hearing. Claudine Gay is, or is it was now, part of the talented 10th. The approved of Negroes who got a good job, a good position, and thought to themselves that meant they were in. I'm not glad that this happened to her, but truth be told, her being a thorn in the side of the white right, that was pretty much the only thing that gave her value in my eyes. She wasn't really repping Team Black. Not only has she been abandoned by her white liberal allies, but also by the black feminists and other left of center folks who like to attend those cheese and croissant parties in these college towns and who figure being able to say that they know people who work at Harvard makes themselves sound smart. But there's also another incident that happened in the last 24 hours that I think deserves mention because it seems similar, not necessarily in form, but definitely in character to what happened to Claudine Gay. In New Jersey, an imam named Hassan Sharif was gunned down outside of his own mosque by an as yet unidentified killer. Now, with the war in Israel going on, there's been a number of Muslims who have been attacked or killed in the United States. But in those other cases, it was because they looked Arab. In this case, however, you unquestionably had someone who was murdered simply for being Muslim. But even though the body's not cold yet, the white authorities are already saying this wasn't a hate crime. Now, how would they know that? They haven't even finished their investigation, and yet they're already putting this out there, that this wasn't a hate crime. Now, does anyone believe they're saying that simply because the victim is a Muslim, or perhaps because he's black, and whenever black people are harmed or killed, the police always say it's not a hate crime before they even bother to gather a single clue? This knee-jerk denial that it was a hate crime was so jarring and out of place that even the white media had to admit that this was unusual. With Reuters themselves saying the DA typically doesn't reveal that kind of information at such an early stage. Yeah, you kind of get the feeling that maybe the fix is in on this one. Speaking of clues, the police are claiming they don't have any suspects. Now, I want the black Muslims in the sound of my voice to understand something. The largest and most well-known Muslim organization in America, the Council on American Islamic Relations, is going right along with what the police are saying. They're saying that they hope the killer turns themselves in. When it's black Muslims who are killed, the outrage is never as high as it is as when an Arab Muslim is killed. And that tells you everything you need to know about organizations like CARE. Now, you're probably saying, what if it turns out that this wasn't related to the war in Israel, that this actually was some random act of violence? Then what would you say, Professor Truth? What I would say is that there were at least 2 mass shootings of Asians in the last few years where everyone said it had to be a hate crime, but it later turned out the killers were Asian themselves. And yet that didn't stop anyone from calling for an anti-Asian hate crime law. And it didn't stop the white media drumbeat for it either. These 2 stories are flip sides of the same coin. Black people who think that because they're part of an academic community or part of a religious community, that if push comes to shove, they'll be treated and protected like the non-black members of these communities. And time and again, we see that's just not true. Both Claudine Gay and Hassan Sharif are examples of what happens when you put your faith in the wrong people.
Yep.
Good day and be one. I'd like to take a moment to...
All right. Thank you, Professor Black Truth. All right, y'all, black family, it's getting kind of late, and I got to get to the food bank. I've been doing food bank 8 years now. Providing free, healthy food to the elders of Dahlia Square Senior Apartments in Northeast Park Hill. So thank y'all for everybody that tapped in tonight. Shout out to everybody that came on the panel or came on the show tonight. Of course, Lady Che, our co-host, our West Coast correspondent, Shabaka Sankori, Shabaka Black Experience Enhanced, which I'm the co-executive producer and co-host, and Joe Koo, who is a police auditor who audits the hell out the police and holds them bastards, them race soldiers, accountable for their actions. So shout out to him for coming on. Also shout out to everybody that tapped in. Shout out to Sab, Shout out to Jay Millie, and even shout out to Twin and MD. So peace, love, light, reparations, and separations, and Black empowerment. Thank y'all for tuning in to season 3, episode 40, part 1 of the Front Line Blacc News. Make sure y'all stay tapped in, and we're going to be going live again later on today for part 2. So make sure y'all stay tuned for that. In the meantime, make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe to Frontline Blacc News, the Revolutionary Agenda on YouTube and Facebook, and also Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced on Facebook and Twitter, now X. So, I already said the closing. I kind of lost my train of thought right there, Black family. But yeah, continue to demand something tangible for your vote going through 2024 all the way up to 2100. And we're going to continue to give you all the news straight from the front line from a Black, meaning a Black first, foundational Black American descendants of American chattel slavery freedmen perspective. So peace, love, light, reparations, and separations, and Black empowerment. We will see y'all later on today. Peace.